years, the Rose Bowl has stood as a cathedral to championships, but tonight is not about a culmination, but a christening for UCLA, the dawning of a new era. Rick Neuheisel takes over as head coach, the former most valuable player of the Rose Bowl for his Bruins, trying to take UCLA back to a title level. And on the night of his 58th birthday, Philip Fulmer leads the Volunteers in what he hopes will be the first step toward a championship season. College football prime time, Tennessee UCLA's not far away. In the shadow of the San Gabriel Mountains on the beautiful floor of the Rose Bowl here in Pasadena, College Football Live is rolling. Reese Davis alongside my Hall of Fame running mates Lou Holtz and Mark May. Look, they want the prescription for success for their teams, and in the game coming up just after the top of the hour tonight, Tennessee and UCLA, two teams in really very different spots in their evolutions as a program. Tennessee, a perennial contender for championships. UCLA is starting over a little bit. How do you see this one unfolding tonight?
I see this unfolding that Tennessee is going to be dominant up front in the trenches with their offensive line. They have 5 offensive linemen returning as starters. They only gave up 4 sacks the entire season last year, and they have a dynamic running back in Arian Foster. He ran for over 1,175 yards last season. Expect the same this season. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield, but also keep your eye on quarterback Jonathan Crompton. He will have a huge game tonight, throwing the ball to wide receiver Lucas Taylor. He had over 1,000 yards receiving last year.
Well, the only chance I think that UCLA has in this football game, if they keep it close going into the fourth quarter. And that's not going to be particularly easy because they were a very inefficient offensive team in 07, and they have more problems than 08. However, they do have 2 great kickers. A young man by the name of Kai Forbath, great place kicker, and an outstanding punter in Aaron Perez. But offensively, they got all kinds of problems. 8 of their 10 offensive linemen have never played it down in last year. In addition to that, their great running back, Khalil Bell's coming off knee surgery. They lost their top 2 quarterbacks. They're going to have to go with the JC quarterback. I say this to UCLA, just like my golf game, forward is good. Be patient, use the clock, try to get to the fourth quarter close, then you might have a chance.
Coach, it's not a good sign when you start talking about a team and you start mentioning their kickers right off the bat. First and foremost, they got to get close enough to kick the ball to score points.
Yeah, but I want to tell you, Mark, these are great kickers. Remember this, Tennessee suspended their great punter, Colquitt, until the 5th or 6th game, so that could be the difference in the game. But UCLA has to keep it close.
UCLA last year had 97 trips into opponent's territory. They only scored 21 times, and that's the 2nd worst percentage in America last year. But Norm Chow is now in to run the offense. He certainly is going to get better material as they go forward. But, you know, I was at Pauley Pavilion the night that Rick Neuheisel came out and addressed the UCLA crowd, brought Norm Chow out, and he raised the roof like the Bruin basketball team hasn't been able to do. They're excited to see some offense. Mark, as you look at what Chow could be able to do with it, look, I know he doesn't have anything near the personnel that he had at USC, but how much impact can a guy like that have on an offense that's inexperienced?
Well, schematically in formations, he'll try to out-formation the opposition and outthink them. But with the talent they have, it won't be enough. They're down to their 3rd quarterback in Kevin Kraft. Their offensive line is decimated, and they don't have a go-to wide receiver. It's going to be difficult for UCLA offensively to move the ball against Tennessee's defense. Keep your eye on Tennessee safety Eric Berry. He's one of the nation's finest. He'll be roaming sidelines to sidelines. I expect him to come up with a couple of turnovers tonight.
The fact that he's Norm Chow. Hey, I'm Norm Chow. I wanted BYU. I did a great job at USC. And naturally, when he says something, he's like E.F. Hutton. When Norm Chow speaks, everybody listens, including Lou Holtz.
But you've got to have material. He doesn't have the material to get beat.
I know he doesn't have the material, but as I say, there's a lot of ways to do it. They just have to keep the game close, be very patient, and don't lose yardage. If you gain that much yardage, hey, forward is good.
Chow in that baby blue of UCLA, you think it sort of ran a chill up the spine of USC seeing that? They might not be worried about it at this moment. We just heard the strains of Rocky Top from the Tennessee section over to our right. 12 to 13,000 Tennessee fans expected in the Rose Bowl tonight, and their hope is they'll be playing a whole lot of Rocky Top. Of course, it really doesn't matter what Tennessee does. They'll play a whole lot of Rocky Top anyway, Dari. There's no question about that.
Reese, you are not kidding. And like Tennessee now, here in a dozens.
Go to ESPN.com, keyword search Kingsford.
Back at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, Tennessee and UCLA tonight, and these two teams have seen a little more of each other than you might expect. This will be the 14th meeting, and Rick Neuheisel is the third Bruin coach to make his UCLA debut coaching against Tennessee. Mike Patrick and Todd Blackledge will have the call from the booth for us tonight, guys.
Of a century after he was named the MVP of the Rose Bowl, Rick Neuheisel returns to Pasadena as UCLA's head coach. We asked him what it means to come home.
Having played at UCLA, possible, and then look over there and remember those are the Tennessee Volunteers, because we better get ready because they're pretty dang good.
Mike Patrick, Todd Blackledge, is this the right fit at the right time for this program?
I absolutely think that it is, Mike. I think that Rick Neuheisel, he loves UCLA, he understands the culture here, and he knows more than anybody what it's going to take to get them back on par with that team across town at USC. He's got to be a great recruiter. He's got the personality and the charisma to do that. He already did a great recruiting job this year in keeping his defensive coordinator, Dwayne Walker, and then going out and luring Norm Chow to be his offensive coordinator. Now it's a matter of, in the next year or two, getting the players in here to compete with those guys across town, but he will definitely get it done here.
Something different for Tennessee, a new quarterback and a new look to the offense.
Well, Dave Clawson's the new offensive coordinator. He's been the head coach at Richmond for the last 4 years, and he's got a new quarterback to work with. Jonathan Crompton is a very talented young guy. He's a junior, so he's been around the Tennessee athletes, but this is a new system for him. But I like him. He's got a big, strong arm. He can make all the throws. He's got quick feet. He's very agile. I think he's more mobile than the previous starting quarterback, Eric Ainge. It's just a matter of, will he be calm in the pocket? Will he take what the defense gives him and manage the game in this new West Coast style offense of Dave Clawson's?
Tough way to start for both of these ball clubs in a very big game from the Rose Bowl. Hope you'll join us.
All right, Mike, and Tennessee and UCLA are going to pull the curtain down on week 1 of the college football season. But before we turn the page and start looking ahead to week 2 and enjoy this game, which ought to be an entertaining one tonight, UCLA saying they're going to play with a little bit of a chip on their shoulders, pertains to bowl games and the pursuit of championships. He makes his debut as head coach tonight against Tennessee, standing by with Holly Rowe.
Well, Rick Neuheisel, you wondered what it would feel like to walk back into the Rose Bowl as the coach of the Bruins. What does it feel like for you tonight?
You've got all those goosebumps, all those things that you kind of anticipated, but as I told you before, that's a good feeling. You know, I always feel sorry for those people who don't get to feel it, because it is an absolute thrill to get ready to play this kind of contest and this kind of atmosphere. And yeah, there's a lot at stake, and you always worry if you got every detail covered, but it is an absolute thrill to be here.
I know he's not the quarterback you thought you'd have starting tonight, but it's who you've got, Kevin Kraft. What do you expect from him tonight?
I think he's going to play great.
To you tonight?
Well, they're such a good, big-time athletic team. You know, you just hope that we can manage the game physically. You know, we've got a bunch of inexperienced guys on the offensive line, and they're playing a very experienced defensive front. If we can handle the line of scrimmage game and keep this thing manageable for, say, 3 quarters, then we can hopefully have some home field cooking here in the 4th quarter and find a way to eke one out.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
And the Volunteers just gathered in the end zone behind us, and they're trotting back toward their locker room to the strains of Rocky Top, to the delight of the orange-clad fans just over here to my right. Neuheisel has his work cut out for him. There's no question about that, Mark, but it seems that he has infused a big-time shot of energy, I should say. Injury's probably a little bit of a Freudian slip based on what they've had in the preseason, but energy into a previously sort of moribund program.
Well, this program definitely needed that after Carl Durrell, but you have to look at the situation. This team right now, they're down to their 13th starting quarterback in Kevin Kraft, and their offensive line is decimated. This is not the team that Coach Rick Neuheisel pictures for down the road. 75% of the recruits on this roster are Carl Durrell recruits. So
Barking in has plenty of bite for Phil Fulmer, the birthday boy who turns 58 with Holly Rowe.
Tennessee coach Philip Fulmer. And Coach, there's a lot of new things with your team this year. What is your expectation for your new offense and your new quarterback?
Well, obviously success. I'm excited about Dave Clawson and the style that we've put in. We've really improved in the first couple weeks of spring practice. So, oh my God, you know what's up. But we finished spring really good. The kids had an outstanding summer, and in the fall camp, it's all come together for us. Hopefully, we'll play well today.
So much of the focus has been on the offense with those new changes, but it was really the defense that struggled last year, giving up more points than any other defense in Vol history. What has to change for them?
You know, we weren't ourselves last year defensively, especially up front where we couldn't get pressure like we wanted to last year, and then being so youthful in the secondary. He ended up starting 3 freshmen in the SEC championship game and a senior. Those younger guys have experience now in the back end. I think we're going to be better up front. This will be a big test for us. Our defense needs to take the step to be back to where Tennessee defenses have been.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Good to see you.
Fulmer, very loose, very confident. Not that he's taking this game lightly, but I think he likes this team. He has a lot of confidence in Jonathan Crompton, who, when he came out of high school, rated as the 3rd best high school quarterback in America, behind Mark Sanchez, who now plays at USC, and Ryan Perilou, who previously played at LSU. Just a few minutes away from the start of Tennessee and UCLA tonight. We'll go back now to the studio where Dari Noka's standing by. Dari, ought to be a great atmosphere in here tonight, my friend.
Reese, cannot wait to watch this football game. Meanwhile, it is kickoff at the Rose Bowl. UCLA and Tennessee. That game coming up next on this Labor Day night.
1,000 people expected inside the Rose Bowl tonight for the first game of the Rick Neuheisel era and the first game for Tennessee this season. The Bruins feel like that they've been underestimated. Jonathan Crompton thinks he has been too. He said, just let people keep on doubting. UCLA hoping that they can carry a stout defense and slow down Tennessee enough to stay into the game late. Mark Lou and I will take you right up to kickoff from inside the Rose Bowl. It's Kevin Kraft and the Bruins get set to take on Tennessee. Since the World War II era, there have been 10 new UCLA coaches prior to Rick Neuheisel. Only 2 of them have won their debut. Red Sanders did it in 1949. Terry Donahue did it in 76. And Neuheisel has his work cut out for him. Just behind us on the floor of the Rose Bowl tonight against a powerful Tennessee team.
Yeah, but it depends on 2 things. What type of talent did you inherit? And 2, who do you play? You inherit a poor football team, you're opening up in Tennessee, you don't expect to have great success. Let me tell you what scares you as a football coach the first game. You don't know how so many of those players are going to react. You don't have any idea whether a new football player is going to go the right way, the wrong way. Yeah, they can play well in practice. They get in the game, it scares you to death how many mistakes they make. I don't care if you have Mark May playing his first game, you're scared.
Well, Tennessee head coach Philip Fulmer, the old former offensive lineman, he's not worried at all. The reason why, he's got all 5 starting offensive linemen returning. And what that means, running back Arian Foster will run the football. You've got left tackle Chris Scott, 6'5", 310. Right tackle Raymond Foster, 6'6", 325. The left end and the right defensive end for UCLA average 6'2", 250. I predict Tennessee will run the ball off tackle early and often with Arian Foster, and he will get over 150 yards on the ground tonight.
Are you aware that there's a defensive side of the ball? Well, I've never heard him talk about anything but offensive linemen, but he is right.
You know, Tennessee has not had a lot of success in West Coast trips in the past. They're 3-9-1 in so-called West Coast games, and they remember vividly what happened to them last year against Cal in the opener. It turned out to be an underachieving California team.
All I have to say is somebody that sits up here on a desk with us, different team every week.
It is. But, you know, when you're the coach at a school for the first time, you have no idea how any of those players are going to react.
There is history between these two. Peyton Manning played his first game as a volunteer against UCLA here. That was because of injury. And tonight, Jonathan Crompton takes over as his team. Can he lead the Volunteers to victory against Neuheisel and the Bruins? Mike Patrick has a call.
Reese, thank you very much. For most big-time college football programs, the season opener is against a lesser opponent. Sort of a warm-up, a test of how good you really are, and not much of a threat. Not so tonight at the Rose Bowl. Instead, 2 tradition-rich programs, Tennessee and UCLA, face off in prime time. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jack Links. More than 70,000 fans expected tonight at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena as the Volunteers of Tennessee help usher in a new era of UCLA football. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. Once upon a time, Rick Neuheisel was a Rose Bowl MVP, then a very successful coach until he had problems with the NCAA. Now, 5 years removed from his last college job, he is coming home to UCLA. Todd, for him, a chance for redemption. For the school, a chance to return to glory.
Yeah.
For Tennessee, it's been 10 years since they won the Southeastern Conference. If they're going to compete for the title this year, they're going to have to do it with a new offense and a new quarterback.
Yeah. Philip Fulmer, for the first time in his 17 years, went outside the Tennessee family to hire a new coordinator. And the guy he got is Dave Clawson, who for the last 9 years has been very successful as a head coach at Fordham and most recently Richmond. And he's got a new quarterback in Jonathan Crompton, a junior. You've got a very bright offensive mind in Dave Clawson. You've got a quarterback in Crompton who has all the physical tools you want in that position. Tonight we see how well they mesh together on a very big stage.
UCLA is coming off of a very disappointing 6-7 season in 2007. That resulted in the exit of Carl Durrell. Tonight, Rick Neuheisel will begin his dream job as he will try to prove you can indeed come home again. And here come the UCLA Bruins for the first time under Rick Neuheisel. Kickoff from the Rose Bowl is next.
Brought to you by Bud Light. Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming. Long John Silver's. Throw boring overboard. And E-Trade.
Controversy UCLA ad that appeared in this week's Los Angeles newspapers calling out USC, as well as Jonathan Crompton's unique relationship with former Vols quarterback Heath Schuler, and the sensation that is Todd's Taste of the Town returns for season 2. I'm hungry already. Jimmy Rothstein will kick it away. Dennis Rogan, who averaged nearly 30 yards a return a season ago, and Denarius Moore are deep for Tennessee.
First game, so much newness. We saw it all weekend. One of the big areas you have concern about is in the special teams. First time they've gone live in the kicking game all summer, right here.
Rick Neuheisel said he wanted a chance to drink in the atmosphere. Well, he's done. Now it's football. A yard deep. Rogan. 20. 29-yard line. Our first chance tonight. Let's check in with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, guys, you talked about the questions that Tennessee has on offense, but they do have one known commodity. That's running back Arian Foster. He has the chance this year to become one of the all-time greats. He just needs 685 yards to pass Travis Henry as the all-time career rushing leader at Tennessee. But what coaches love about him is his versatility. He caught 39 passes last year. They say he helps us so much in the passing game, and oh yeah, he's behind an offensive line that gave up just 4 sacks last season.
They are big and veteran and ready to go. Kraft to throw, screen, Foster. Sidesteps one man, dances through another tackle, picks up about 9 yards. You can check out all the starting lineups at the top of your screen.
Oh, nice safe pass for Jonathan Crompton to get started in the game. Little screen pass to Foster. Get him off to a good start. You've got two new quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the ball game tonight. You want them to feel comfortable right away in the game. Great way to do it right there.
Crompton making just the second start of his entire career. Last year playing behind Eric Ainge, he threw just 12 passes in the entire season. Looking for his second throw here, floated it, and incomplete. It was intended for Lucas Taylor, who came within 3 catches last year of the club record at Tennessee at 76 grabs.
I think we're going to see both defenses try to pressure the opposing quarterback. That time on second down and short, UCLA came with an all-out blitz, left single coverage, and a little miscommunication between Crompton and Taylor outside.
Could have been a huge play.
Yeah.
3rd and inches. They need to get to about the 39-yard line for the first down. Cooper, the blocking back, in front of Foster. Fumbled snap from center, and Crompton has to dive on it. UCLA says, we have it, and they do. No, Tennessee got it back.
One of the problems, again, new quarterback, short yardage plays. Centers usually are trying to reach a block. You got to stay in a little longer, keep your hands in a little longer. Josh McNeil is a veteran center, and that time it just looked like Jonathan Crompton pulled his hands out a little too soon, and it was a bad exchange.
Big hand from UCLA defense. Daniel Lincoln is the punter because Britton Colquitt has been suspended. Or Chad Cunningham, the new punter, because Britton Colquitt has been suspended for the first 5 games of the year for DUI. Austin on the return for UCLA up to the 29-yard line, a return of 4 after a punt of 40. Kevin Kraft, UCLA's opening 44 touchdown passes, gets the call in this one.
So much is being made that he was the 3rd-team quarterback and kind of has the position by default.
Khalil Bell never even got back to the line of scrimmage. He was swallowed by Robert Ayers, the senior from Clio, South Carolina. And UCLA has to be able to block better than that.
Well, the big question mark to me for UCLA is not Kevin Kraft and his ability at quarterback. It's the offensive line. It's a brand new unit. You've only got 2 guys, Micah Reed, the center, and Micah Key, the left tackle, who have any game experience at all. Everybody else, new guys up front.
Kraft straight back, wants a little swing pass, and too strong for Bell. Well, they were trying to do the same thing that Tennessee did. Give that young quarterback an easy throw, and he missed the swing.
Yep, he sure did. He a little nervous. That the one thing that the coaches told us about Kevin Kraft, he's a very excitable guy. He gets a little too nervous. They need to calm him down. Norm Chow, the offensive coordinator, said, I've got to do stuff early to get him comfortable in the game. And 3rd down and 11 against a team like Tennessee with all that speed is not a great way to start your first possession.
Tennessee secondary could be as good as it gets. 4 guys back there that can really play. Here comes a corner blitz. They don't get there. Kraft trying to run out of trouble. Throws on the run and has a first down up at the 44-yard line. Marcus Everett made the grab. The young man who made only 10 catches a year ago has his first in 2008.
Yeah, D'Angelo.
Play action to Bell. Kraft throws downfield, fitted in to the tight end, Logan Paulson. Looked like it was over a linebacker and in front of a defensive back. Nice touch by Kraft.
A little bootleg misdirection. Things to get this fast Tennessee defense going the other way. Fake to the left. Here comes Paulson right into the face of the quarterback now. And a nice job by Kevin Kraft getting the ball up in the air for his tight end. If he gets that thing down low, it's probably picked off.
Spot the ball at the Tennessee 37-yard line. Kraft back to throw. Short out, complete again to Dominique Johnson.
Playing with a broken left hand. He's got a cast on that left hand. How he holds up today, huge.
Kraft come out throwing and keeps throwing. This one to Khalil Bell, who was tackled immediately, will lose a yard. back to the 26-yard line, and a good effort by Ben Martin, the defensive end, who peeled back and got him around the ankles. Kraft is a coach's son.
Yeah.
You would expect him to have a great feel for the game.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, he grew up around the game, very similar to the background that I had of growing up the son of a coach. He actually played for his dad at San Diego State and then later at Mount San Antonio College. So a very bright guy and off to a very good start so far for the Bruins.
2nd and 11. Certainly that offensive line has showed that they can pass block a little bit. Khalil Bell would like to see a better run blocking effort as he gets down to the 25, maybe the 24-yard line. How about the Tennessee impact players?
Well, they've got a lot of speed. It starts with their linebacking core. Rico McCoy, their outside linebacker, one of the real leaders on this team, 2nd in tackles on the team a year ago. And the back end of this defense is probably the strength. Eric Berry, just a sophomore, but he had 86 tackles a year ago to go with those 5 interceptions. And Dennis Rogan, not only a starting corner, but a very dangerous kickoff and punt returner for the Volunteers.
3rd down and long for UCLA. Kraft out of the shotgun. Stands in the pocket, throws. Nobody there except the Tennessee defender. Right into the arms of D'Angelo Willingham. Somebody ran the wrong route. Kraft threw it where they were supposed to be, and Willingham was the only guy there. That's when the quarterback looks really silly, but 99% of the time it's not his fault.
Well, Marcus Everett is going to run to the post, but Kevin Kraft is throwing to the outside. He thought he was going to break out. Marcus Everett broke in, and Kevin Kraft, I know he wishes he had this one back. I mean, there was a lot of traffic over there anyway, but a miscommunication. We saw it in Tennessee's first possession, a miscommunication. This one cost UCLA. After a drive into scoring territory, they come up empty.
And you would think, as good as Tennessee's defense is, when UCLA has a chance to score, they really have to take advantage of it.
But that was a major problem for them a year ago, not scoring when they got into territory of the other team.
So Tennessee goes back to work with a pass complete over the middle. Gerald Jones picking his way through the defense up to the 35, a gain of 19.
See, this is the essence of Dave Clawson's offense. He knows he's got a lot of weapons. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick, short throws, and let them break tackles and make yardage after the catch. I mean, they want explosive plays, which are over 15 yards, but a lot of those throws for those big plays come with short throws of under 10 yards. That's a perfect example of it right there.
They'll show you a lot of different personnel groups, 3 wides, 2 tight ends, 1 tight end, couple of backs. Foster, incidentally, he's wearing number 30 tonight instead of his number 27 because of his teammate David Holbert, who will have to sit out the entire year after a major knee injury. So in case you're an Arian Foster fan and you're wondering why you don't see 27.
Well, one of the real battles will be this Tennessee offensive line, a very veteran group, against the strength of the UCLA defense, which is their front 4.
Foster again, especially those 2 tackles. Really outstanding defensive tackles for UCLA. How about the Tennessee impact players?
Well, it starts with the guy we just mentioned, Arian Foster, wearing number 30 tonight. Excellent receiver and runner. And then Gerald Jones, who caught that pass a moment ago. We're going to see him line up in a lot of different spots. And Brandon Warren, a new guy to the Tennessee offense, a tight end, was a freshman All-American at Florida State. Transferred, just got cleared a week ago. He is a talented young man.
3rd and 2. Foster behind Cooper, the blocking back. Play action. Crompton nearly fell down again and then throws to the fullback. Cooper out in the flat. Gets to midfield for the first down. Cooper a year ago was exclusively a short yardage blocker and showed you some receiving skills there.
Yeah, good job by Crompton maintaining his balance. They had the missed snap on the last 3rd down and short play. This time he almost gets tripped up, but able to keep his composure and get the throw to Cooper for the first down.
You don't want your own guys knocking you down every 3rd down. No. Tennessee at midfield. And caught out of bounds. That ball just drifted. Intended for Briscoe, but it hung up there a long, long time.
Going for Briscoe, going against the top cover guy for UCLA. Werner, number 1, is their best cover corner, but he was beaten on the play. But you're right, the ball just sailed a little bit outside, and Briscoe not able to gather it inbounds.
Three wide receivers with Gerald Jones, number 4, in the slot. That's where they want to play him because of his quickness. Foster, a little misdirection, takes it outside. Foster may be the only big-time running back in the entire country who is a philosophy major. Let's take a look at the impact players on defense.
Well, you mentioned the 2 tackles. That's the strength. Brigham Harwell, that's the strength. And then Raheem Moore, the free safety, a true freshman who is starting because Brent Lockett, the senior who should have been the starting free safety, suspended for the first ball game.
3rd and 5, Crompton in the shotgun. 4-man rush by UCLA, good protection. Crompton throws underneath, that will be a first down. Good tackle by Norris, but Gerald Jones caught the pass with plenty of yardage to spare.
You mentioned the protection. Philip Fulmer, the former offensive lineman at Tennessee, former offensive line coach before he became the head coach. And I'll tell you what, I really tip my hat to him for hiring Dave Clawson, changing, an offense that he was used to and comfortable with for the last 16 years, and he kind of had to go back and relearn it.
It's always risky when you go outside the family, so to speak, because the fan base really gets, what's the right word for it, very protective of keeping things in-house. And it does take a leap of faith to get somebody else.
Yeah, and I just thought it was really interesting because he said he doesn't want to lose touch with the offense, so he would meet with Dave Clawson, take notes. They talk about a lot of different things, and he is really excited about his young offensive coordinator.
Lucas Taylor made that last catch for a gain of 7. Pretty good looking drive here for Tennessee. Foster hitting the backfield this time. Those defensive tackles are... Price had a coming out party in the bowl game last year against BYU. 3rd and 6 for the Volunteers. Crompton to the gun again. Here comes the blitz. And he rushed it. Now there's a flag down.
An eligible man downfield. It's a good call by Dwayne Walker, the defensive coordinator for UCLA, bringing that blitz.
1-yard field goal attempt by Daniel Lincoln. This is that area of the field where you can try for the field goal, punt it, or go for it. And Philip Fulmer on his 58th birthday wants an early present, a 51-yard field goal. And doesn't get it. ESPN's College Football Primetime is available in ESPN HD. And the Stars are out in Pasadena. Wayne Gretzky, no doubt the greatest player of all time, and certainly that guy got a lot of votes as the greatest player of all time in the NBA and in college basketball. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. UCLA takes over at its 35. Both teams have moved the ball reasonably well, and that's probably a better sign for UCLA. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, after Kevin Kraft threw that interception, he came to the sideline and he didn't throw his helmet. He whacked confidence up right now.
Well, if he's your only guy, there's no sense yelling at him right now. It's not going to help you a whole lot. Kraft back to throw, lobs this one up and throws it poorly and picked off at the sideline at the 45-yard line. Now they're going to ask, was he inbounds or not? Yes, he was. Picked off by Demetrius Morley.
See, here's the problem for Kevin Kraft on this throw. The strength of this secondary are the two safeties, Berry and Morley. Morley, that ball hung up way too long, and it was easy for him to come over and make a play on it. The question, did he get 1 foot in bounds after the interception? John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, saying absolutely, ball's ours, we're going this way. But when you throw that one, you can't float it out there. You've got to stick it in between the corner and the safety, and that thing's hung up there. And again, Eric Berry and Demetrius Morley may be the best safety tandem in college football. You can't hang the football on either one of those guys.
John Chavis is not all that free with accolades. He said they could, if they live up to their potential, they could be the best tandem of anybody. Now they're going to review it. But you're absolutely right about that throw, and that's the second one he's tossed up like that.
Well, the first one he threw where there was no receiver. This one, he had a receiver, but it was the wrong trajectory on the ball. You've got to throw that in between the corner and safety, and he hung it up there, and Morley came over to make the play.
And Taylor Embry was stretching out as far as he could at 6'3". He was still a couple of yards away from the ball, had no chance.
You know, when you throw a fade route or a little go route like that, the coverage determines how you throw it. If it's man-to-man bump and run and there's no safety coming over the top, then you can put some air under it.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Interception.
But if there's a free safety who is coming over to help and there's a hole between the cornerback and the safety, you have to throw that on more of a line to have a chance to complete it.
That was the second pick so far here in the first half for Kevin Kraft. Last year at San Antonio, or Mount San Antonio College, he had 44 touchdown passes and 10 interceptions. But this is not Mount San Antonio College.
See, he didn't misread the coverage. He saw the right thing. Look at Rick Neuheisel's hand saying you can't throw that ball with that much air under it with that safety coming over. It wasn't a misread, just a poor throw.
Crompton straight back to throw. Pretty good protection and a poor pass. Skips this one in there on the ground, intended for Gerald Jones, who had hooked up. This Saturday night on ESPN Eastern. Tebow's already got a leg up on that second Heisman. What a great player. Foster. Only a couple. John Hale, the strong side linebacker, number 12, made the tackle.
Really impressed with this UCLA defense. From graduation, Bruce Davis hanging in there right now against Tennessee.
6 carries, only 10 yards for the Volunteers so far. 4-man rush on Crompton, hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. The pressure came from the backside and drilled him. Tom Blake. For more on keeping Walker, a great job by Rick Neuheisel. Here's Holly.
Keep him.
Do anything he could to keep him. Did a great recruiting job.
Cunningham punting to Austin, no fair catch, hit just as he touched the ball, and then cut down shy of the 15-yard line. 3-yard return after a punt of 43. LaMarcus Thompson with the tackle on special teams. Timeout on the field. Still nothing. Tennessee, UCLA. Aerial coverage of tonight's game provided to you by Goodyear. Football's rough, your commute shouldn't be, so get there on Goodyear's silent armor technology. Nothing. First quarter here in the Rose Bowl. 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the initial period. And UCLA with its worst starting position, they take over at the 13. Khalil Bell on the toss. The young man coming off a major knee surgery from a year ago. Speaking of injuries, here's Holly with an update.
Well, guys, we'll see how they respond.
And they thought Paulson had a chance to have a big year because of the way they're going to tweak their offense this season. And Paulson would be, as a tight end, would be more of a big part of it. And now Moyle will get his chance. Sat out 2007 after playing in 2006.
Actually, Corey Harkey.
Khalil Bell limped off, and Shane Moline is in his place. Number 42, play action fake to him, pass over the middle, incomplete. Excellent coverage by Adam Myers-White, the strong side linebacker who dropped back in his zone and was all over Shane Moline.
I think Marcus Everett might be cramping up. He looked like he was trying to pull his toe up like he was cramping. UCLA thin already on offense, can hardly afford to lose some of their key guys. Logan Paulson, their senior tight end, Marcus Everett, their only senior.
How many guys over the weekend had cramped up because it was the first game and a lot of them aren't used to it?
Well, you're not used to the start and stop and pushing on other bodies as hard as you do in a game.
Perez to kick to Rogan. Gets it on the hop. Rogan had already signaled a fair catch. It was a 46-yard punt. When we come back, we'll take a look at the headlines of the opening weekend in college football. Was Alabama's romp over Clemson the biggest story? We'll see. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jack Links, part of ESPN Kickoff Week, presented by Gillette. See him working on Khalil Bell, retaping that left ankle he limped off in the last series, and they can ill afford to lose him.
I guess the good news is it's an ankle and not his knee. You know, he hurt his knee last year and had major surgery, made a great recovery to get back to be the starter again this year. So I guess that's the good part.
Montario Hardesty will get a shot at playing tailback for Tennessee on this series. And number 2 gets the first carry. He's got some quickness. It's now time to check in with Dari Noka for a Sports Center right now.
Combine that with Phillies loss, the Mets are up 2 in the NL East. Sports Center after the game. Stay current, ESPN News, guys.
Thanks, Dari. From the 37, Tennessee back to work. Pass too high and incomplete off the fingertips of Denarius Moore. Alteron Werner was over there. He is their best cover corner, preseason all Pac-10 defender.
Yeah, that's why my anticipation is that maybe not on this third down play, but the next time they get a good chance to go play action and take a shot down the field, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tennessee try to go after the other corner, Michael Norris, his first time as a starter in there, opposite Werner on the other side.
Crompton started 5 for 7, but he's missed his last 4, a couple of them badly. Another blitz coming. Another good job by the Tennessee offensive line.
Throw.
It was.
Back-to-back throws that were high. Now, this is a case where a quarterback has got to trust his protection. They've got all the guys picked up. It's not an all-out blitz, so it was only a 5-man rush. They had plenty of blockers. You just got to stay in there and make a strong throw. 2 plays in a row, the ball took off on him and sailed high and incomplete.
And a pass consistently going high usually means mechanics, doesn't it?
Yeah, and just a little anxiousness. Maybe trying to put a little bit too much on it. A little too much of a stride. Wow, they got that one.
Big rush and a block for UCLA. The Bruins will score on the punt block. Ayers with the block. And then Ryan Graves appeared to be the guy that picked it up and got the touchdown. And boy, did they get that one. That was a jailbreak.
Well, neither offense can go. Both defenses playing great. Rick Neuheisel said he went out and hired Frank Gantz Jr. as a special teams coach from the NFL, hoping he could maybe steal a game or 2 by being really fundamentally sound in the kicking game. That not only fundamentally sound, but a big play for the Bruins.
Well, he just stole the lead, if nothing else. The point after is good.
Show you where Akeem Ayers come from. He's right here, the third guy in. He gets a clean shot to the punter, clean block, good angle at the football.
Rogan and Moore are deep again for Tennessee. And the Volunteers have to be a little shell-shocked right now. Those are the kind of plays that win close ball games. And this has been a defensive struggle so far. High and short. Rogan. Good return, but there's a flag down as he's tackled at the 38-yard line.
Pat White not running the football, throwing it 5 touchdown passes in a new-look West Virginia offense. Or a new wrinkle, I should say.
Career high for him. Now Tennessee goes to Gerald Jones in the straight snap. That's known as the G-gun package. Last year, he rushed 8 times for 58 yards, had a couple of touchdowns out of that formation.
And that's just a straight sweep. I mean, there's nothing tricky about it. There's nothing fancy. It's just let your quarterback run and get you an extra couple blockers on the perimeter. And a nice gain on first down for Tennessee.
Now Crompton will come back in at quarterback. And Montario Hardesty remains at tailback. He'll get the carry. Hardesty has had an injury-plagued career. When he has been healthy, he's been very, very good. There just haven't been enough of those times. Had 373 yards rushing a season ago. UCLA jumps and said Tennessee moved.
Yeah. Well, UCLA showed blitz, and that made.
Thank you, Holly. At the 30-yard line, Tennessee with a 2nd and 10. Hardesty. Nice spin. Got him an extra 5 yards. Picks up 9. It will be 3rd and 1 when we come back. The first quarter has come to an end. UCLA leading Tennessee 7-0 at the Rose Bowl. At the second quarter in the Rose Bowl, UCLA and Tennessee, the Bruins trying to pull a surprise, got a punt block and a return for a touchdown. Very generous spot on that last carry for Tennessee, and the Vols with a first down at their own 40. Draw play. Almost 5 yards on that carry, and the UCLA defense right now looks a little tired. Let's take a look at our game track here in the first. A fumble, 50 yards passing. Kraft has had 2 picks. Both young quarterbacks struggling a little bit here in the early going, and the block punt for UCLA resulting in the only score of the ball game. Crompton, good play fake under pressure and throws incomplete.
Pressure
inside. He has not reacted real well to it. That time it was Brigham Harwell.
But when those tackles get pressure, you really have nowhere to go. You can't step into a throw, and we've seen that a couple times tonight already for Jonathan Crompton.
And when you can't, it's all arm. It's flat-footed, and your accuracy is off. 3rd and 5. Crompton from the shotgun, 4-man rush. Over the middle, and this one will get a first down to the UCLA 45-yard line, and it's complete to Gerald Jones, stopped by Verner on the man-to-man coverage. It's the opener for both ball clubs, obviously an intersectional rivalry. The Pac-10 hosting the Southeastern Conference. Got at least 70,000 people here tonight. Beautiful crowd in the Rose Bowl, and absolutely perfect weather, at least for us. Tennessee trying to sustain a drive here.
You mentioned UCLA defense looking a little tired. I mean, and that's normal because they've been on the field more than the Tennessee defense. Even when they scored, it wasn't their offense that had a drive that got the score. It was a punt block, so the defense was right back on the field. And Tennessee, I think, recognizing that and saying, you know what, we're going to pound on these guys a little bit. We're going to run behind our big offensive line, run between the tackles. Montario Hardesty is really running hard up inside right now, and they're trying to kind of bludgeon this UCLA defense right now.
Time of possession nearly doubled in the early going. Crompton backed out, but McNeil, the center, didn't snap the ball.
78 on the offense. Wide right penalty.
The A-gap is right between the center and guards, as close as the quarterback as you can get, and they got up in there and forced Ramon Foster, number 78, to move. Watch.
These are not the kind of mistakes you expect them to make. Crompton with good time, has a man wide open, got it down inside the 20, down to the 10-yard line. A perfect throw that time to Josh Briscoe, and a gain of 42 yards. Well, that'll get rid of some nerves.
Well, it starts with the protection. The offensive line had a couple penalties this drive. This time they give Crompton great time, and he sees that single coverage out on the outside. And the problem, Courtney Viney, number 7, tried to look back at the quarterback. And when he did, he stopped moving his feet and allowed Briscoe to separate. When he took a peek back at the quarterback, Briscoe ran by him for the catch.
First down just outside the 10. Here goes Hardesty, touchdown.
That was a good series of play calling by Tennessee. They recognized UCLA a little tired on defense, and they said, let's pound on those inside guys, and in doing so, we'll slow down the pass rush and get some plays, and mostly on the ground.
Not only very effective for this drive, but that will help for the rest of the ball game.
Yep.
80 yards.
And look at those defensive tackles, hands on their hips. I mean, that was a long, drawn-out drive of getting pounded on for those UCLA tackles.
Daniel Lincoln for the point after. And we are tied with 11 minutes and 58 seconds to go first half. 80 yards on 9 plays in 4 minutes and 17 seconds for the Volunteers. Nice drive by the Tennessee Volunteers. Hardesty played tailback that entire series. They went 80 yards to tie it up, and now UCLA's job is going to be to hold on to the ball for a while. Time of possession now 12.5 to 5.5. And they've run nearly twice as many plays. Austin on the return. Had a little gap. It was shut quickly, and he's down at the 24. What did you see on that touchdown?
Well, a couple things. Number one, you're going to see an excellent block by Jock McClendon coming out here and blocking on John Hale, the linebacker. But also watch these two guys. This is a sign of fatigue. Middle linebacker Reggie Carter, free safety Raheem Moore take bad angles to the running back. You get the block, but two guys that were unblocked just took very poor angles. And again, that is a sign of fatigue. They got out of fundamentally sound football there because they were tired at the end of that drive.
Kevin Kraft has Moline as his tailback on this series, and Moline is drilled after a gain of about 2.
And it is really important that UCLA does something offensively on this possession. They've got to allow their defense to catch their breath over there. Again, they were on the field playing extremely well. They got the block punt for a touchdown and had to come right back on the field, and Tennessee really punished them in that last drive. A 3-and-out here would be very difficult for the UCLA defense.
Kraft will go to the shotgun on 2nd and 8. Complete to Austin. Up to
guys, so it's not looking good.
Whew. Not getting any better, is it? Those are 3 big-time players for that offense. 3rd and a long 2. Kraft out in the flat, Austin with the catch, and he'll have just enough for a first down, and wrapped up by Demetrius Morley out of Miami.
Again, he really does. And again, you know, this is not a guy who has never played. I mean, he started 5 games at San Diego State as a redshirt freshman, played a whole season last year in junior college.
Junior college, set all kind of records there, was going to transfer to Hawaii. So he has been well-traveled, and they think he's got a chance to put up some good numbers this year. And really, they lost on back-to-back plays in the spring. They lost their top 2 quarterbacks. How gut-wrenching that.
And then Ben Olsen gets healthy and comes back in August 9th, the exact same injury, and that's why Kevin Kraft is now the starting quarterback.
And Olsen probably out till the middle of October. Here's a pass that's incomplete. Tremendous.
That's Ben Olsen right there in his number 7 jersey, the broken. He was out on the practice field, so he's been kind of learning on the fly ever since he's gotten here.
So you have to hope that your backup insurance policy is pretty good. 3rd and 6. Tennessee comes with a 4-man rush. There's going to be a holding call. They did not get enough yardage for a first down anyway, but a flag was thrown back by the quarterback.
Well, the only good news for UCLA, or the good news, is they did get a first down. They were able to knock some time off the clock and give their defense a chance to rest.
Holding on the offense, number 58. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Third down.
Now, there's an interesting call.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing up fourth down, they're going to back them up because they gained, what, about 5 yards. So, actually, they moved the ball back 15 yards from where it was, but instead of forcing a punt, they're saying our defense is going to stop you again.
Well, I think they're thinking also, if they throw it, we got a good chance of forcing this guy to make another mistake. So if Rick Neuheisel and Norm Chow elect to throw with Kevin Kraft on this 3rd and long, chances are we might be able to force him into another bad play. Wouldn't be surprised to see UCLA throw a little screen or something and take that decision out of his hands.
Only 69 yards in total offense for UCLA in 18 plays. Kraft on a rollout to take some of the pressure off. He throws, and he throws it behind Terrence Austin, and Austin tried to shift his body back, make the catch behind him, but couldn't do it.
Rick Neuheisel told us, you know, we've just got to hope we can fight these guys for a little bit. If we can fight them and hang in there and get the game into the 4th quarter, we feel like we've got a plan to be able to try to win the football game. They can't do that if they can't move the ball and sustain the offense a little bit and keep their defense fresh.
Aaron Perez, who was brilliant a year ago, 42-3, the 2nd in the Pac-10 in his punting average. Kicks it away. Rogan shakes the tackle, gets up across the 30. 6-yard return, and a tough one after a punt of 43. UCLA took the lead. Tennessee has come back to tie it up.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is presented by Gillette. Show us your game face for a chance to win huge prizes from Gillette and ESPN. Visit GilletteGameFace.com for details.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at tonight's APLAC trivia question. Rick Neuheisel once held the NCAA record for the best completion percentage in a single game. It was 92.6%. What Tennessee quarterback broke that record and still holds it? Chew on that one for a little bit.
Can we give him a hint?
Sure.
It's not the most obvious choice you would think of.
Keith Shore. Gained for about 2 yards. Tennessee trying to go back to the ground game and continue to pound Tennessee as Foster is back in there at tailback. Well, if you're Rick Neuheisel right now, happy, unhappy?
Well, you're happy that your team is competing. You're very concerned that you're losing players because, you know, he knew they were going to have to kind of do it a little bit with smoke and mirrors this year anyway. But a couple of those mirrors got some cracks in them right now, and that makes it even tougher.
Crompton goes to the gun. UCLA showing blitz, and they come with it. Flanker screen, and that just developed too slowly, or it could have worked.
Really a nice play by Kyle Bosworth, though. Identical twin brother Corey, who's a defensive end, 55 and 54.
Rather familiar name, too, and if you're guessing, you're right. He's the uncle. Crompton underneath, and it's intercepted. Thrown right to Alteron Verne. All he had to do was catch it.
Yep.
Terrible pass.
Well, it was a zone coverage, and Werner was sitting in the zone reading the quarterback's eyes. And Jonathan Crompton got locked in on his target and didn't see Werner. Now watch Werner just drop back into zone and read the quarterback's eyes. Jonathan Crompton is looking at his receiver, and Werner goes right with his eyes to where the football's going. And
For great college football, order ESPN Game Plan today.
Medellin sucked, and the whole world knows.
Spot the ball at the 42-yard line. Tennessee has it 1st and 10 after the pick.
This would be a place where I might anticipate Norm Chow, offensive coordinator, trying to take a chance. Now, he had to have talked to Kevin Kraft and say, if we do call for a big play, don't force it. If it's not there, get what you can get. Let's get a positive out of it.
Now, after all this time, there apparently has been a challenge to the call on the field.
If they want to take some time to look extra long at one, they buzz the official down on the field.
Kraft under center. The tailback is Shane Moline, and Kraft wants to throw. Steps up in the pocket under pressure and throws it away.
They were in a run set, 2 tight ends, 1 back, which suggests run. They tried to throw the ball down the field, and that's a pretty good decision by Kevin Kraft. It's not there. Tennessee has it covered. Don't get sacked. Don't try to force one in. 2nd and 10 is a whole lot better than the alternatives. We're still in scoring territory or on the Tennessee side of the field. Let's not throw away this field position. But now with Khalil Bell out, their top tailback. Shane Moline is their running back in there.
And he's more of a pounder, not a game breaker. He's a guy who will get you 3 or 4 yards. This play is whistled dead.
Now, UCLA called timeout. They were down
Prior
on the
to
play clock.
Timeout. UCLA, number 1.
Rick Neuheisel called that timeout from the sideline. There was a little confusion. The play clock was down. Again, don't waste this opportunity.
What's that sound like to you? Defeat? Nope, not to me. To me, it sounds like victory.
Strong under pressure. Jeter and his Gillette Clinical Strength Antiperspirant with 34% better wetness protection than a prescription product.
Every day is a walk in the park, even in this park.
Jeter's not going for anything less.
One of the rule changes this year, going to the 40-second play clock after each play. It's more of the NFL rule. And they'll go to Moline on the draw here as he gets down to about the 38-yard line. It replaces a rather confusing set of regulations. So you go to 1 40-second clock. Unless there has been a procedural stoppage of the clock, then it's back to 25. Some teams have had a tough time adjusting to it because
both came directly from the NFL, where it's been that way for quite a while.
Kraft on 3rd and long and throws way too high. Terrence Austin was well covered at the sideline anyway, and Kraft may have just thrown that one away. And now they'll have to punt. So they get the big turnover on the interception, can't get anything out of it, and now Kraft is getting an earful from Neuheisel.
Well, what Rick Neuheisel is getting on him about is why try to throw the deep one? Wasn't there something open underneath where we might have had a shot to take it a field goal? Even if we don't get the first down, maybe we can kick it. As it is, let's try to punt Tennessee deep and play defense again.
Perez will punt to Rogan. Beautiful high floater.
Perfect. Again, that special teams execution.
AA record for best completion percentage in a single game, 92.6%. Which Tennessee quarterback broke that record and still holds it? Did you get it right, Mr. Blackledge?
I did. I got it right this morning.
Who was it?
T. Martin, 23 of 24 versus South Carolina. Neuheisel was 25 of 27 in his game.
23 out of 24 is 95.8%. Yikes. 5:41 to go in the half. Tennessee backed up all the way to its own 7-yard line. Foster back in at tailback, but they'll give it to the fullback, Kevin Cooper, who gets maybe a yard.
But look at the difference in the UCLA defense. On this side of the 50 another time before halftime.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers. Foster the single setback behind Crompton. And Crompton is back to throw. Has plenty of time.
Well, that's well played by Werner.
Boy, Alteron Werner with sensational coverage. Great body position. Lucas Taylor could not get by him.
It's single coverage. And Werner doesn't look back until he sees the receiver look back the second time. And as he turned, a little contact, but you're allowed to do that. He knew where the sideline was. Perfect position for Alteron Werner.
You are not allowed to cut off the route of a receiver unless you're that good at it. It was so subtle, the way he drifted in front of the receiver.
And again, I'm a little surprised that Tennessee, when they've tried to attack downfield, have not tried to attack on the other side. I mean, Werner's good. I mean, he's got skill.
Yes, he is.
And the other guy, it's not that he's a bad player. He's just not as proven as Alteron Werner.
May have had a clock issue as the official stepped in.
Now you have a true freshman down here is the nickelback, Courtney Viney, who was already beat once earlier in the ballgame.
Crompton. They want a little flanker screen out there.
Boy, Brigham Harwell getting out from his defensive tackle position, making the play on the screen. These two tackles have been about as good as advertised. And just a reminder, Cunningham, the starting punter, because Colquitt out on the suspension for 5 games. Tennessee's going to have to use a timeout here. They did.
Cunningham punting out of the end zone. Fair catch signal. Austin will take it at the 46-yard line. Great field position for UCLA. Monday Night Football returns to running back Darren McFadden, who may turn out to be as good as anybody. Raymond Carter, the new tailback for UCLA. He'll get a carry and a yard. That's it.
Yep. Raymond Carter was the backup tailback. He actually hurt his knee last year. Man is a stronger football team than UCLA, but their defense has played well. They got the block punt for their only score, but you've got to take advantage of this kind of field position. They didn't on the interception. The defense held. You can't go through a game and beat a team like Tennessee if you don't capitalize on these breaks.
3rd and 6. Moline checks back in. Kraft with time, throws to the sideline, and he's picked. Intercepted back there by Eric Berry, the all-star safety, and Kraft really getting an earful now. Another chance to score goes by the boards, and again, that ball floated.
Yeah, it floated, and he's throwing out to the corner, and he's going to see 2 Tennessee defenders out there. When you throw deep, you look deep to short. Now, the deep is going to be covered. He's got to look to go underneath. Now, the problem also, 2 receivers were in the same area. There was no underneath throw, but you don't just throw that up for grabs over on the sideline. Again, this Tennessee secondary, that's the strength of the team. Eric Berry and Morley, the 2 safeties, each with a pick.
And Kraft is on a really bad roll. As in his last 10 passes, he's only completed 2 and had 3 intercepted. Kevin Cooper makes this catch for Tennessee. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, you don't see this every day with 2 minutes left and a half. All the assistant coaches for Tennessee on the offensive side of the ball just frantically passed out new offensive wristbands. They just had to really quickly check everyone's to make sure they had the same ones after the quick interception, and the offense had to quickly get out on the field. So hopefully everybody has the same change in wristbands right now, and they're on the same play calling.
All right, Holly, back to the ground. And a big run for Foster. Arian Foster across midfield to the UCLA 45-yard line. The first time any backs have had a good chance to run with the football.
Well, Foster does a nice job bouncing this to the outside. He got a good block from his fullback, Cooper. And then Gerald Jones, number 4, out there blocking on the defensive back, Michael Norris, who ultimately forces him out of bounds, but not till after a long run by Foster.
1:57 to go in the first half. Crompton will go under center this time. 3 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Do a good job of picking it up. He goes underneath to Lucas Taylor, and Taylor inside the 40 to about the 35, 34-yard line. It's another first down.
Nice job by Crompton, knowing he's got time and protection. And a short throw. Again, this offense predicated on spacing, short throws, and runs after the catch primarily.
Another blitz. And he just throws this one away. Smart play by Crompton. Knew he couldn't do anything with it. Holly?
Tennessee wide receiver Lucas Taylor has had a lot on his mind today, guys. His mother lives in Carenco, Louisiana, and she is right in the path of Hurricane Gustav. He said that she has evacuated. She went up to her sister's house, but she went to her sister's house in Lafayette. The bad news is I just saw a guy on the Weather Channel standing in front of Lafayette talking about the storm, so hopefully she's not too close. Her name's Marjorie, and his best wishes are going with her today that they're out of harm's way.
Well, we wish her all the best, and even though it wasn't as bad as it looked, it was great that all those people got out of Louisiana in that mandatory evacuation. Crompton runs into his own man. Foster knocks him down because Crompton never had a chance to see him.
You know, and this goes back to the point that Holly brought up about the new wristbands and the changes, and under the sudden change after the interception. They don't look like they're in sync right now, and Tennessee's going to call a timeout before this third down play to try to get in sync. We've seen UCLA.
See, we'll tell you what we know. Fresno starting off its run to what they hope's a BCS Bowl in style in New Jersey. We're also going to kick it back to Pasadena. Reese, Mark, and Lou with lots more from the Rose Bowl where you guys are. It is a good one. Halftime will be good as well, guys. We'll see you then.
You know, when you're a quarterback, the last thing you expect when you take a 5-step drop is to get hit from behind by your own guy.
Right, before you even hit your fifth step.
Exactly.
Yeah, that play didn't look too good, and now it's third and long for Jonathan Crompton.
From here, it would be a 55-yard field goal try, so they need to get at least part of it back to have an opportunity. Crompton hit from behind. The blitz came from the outside. Here's one of those decision areas. You can punt it, you can try for a really long field goal, or you can go for the first down. What do you like here?
Well, I think if I'm Tennessee, I go for it here. I don't know, you try a field goal. What did they miss their last field goal? What was it? 51.
It was 51. This would be 55.
The only reason I would have said go for it is because your defense pretty much has UCLA stifled right now.
Right.
But you punt them down deep, maybe you, now they're going to go for another field goal.
Now this will be 55 yards for Lincoln. Last year he was 21 of 29, so he was very accurate, but this is a load. He's got a little breeze in his back. And that's hooked. And this will give UCLA excellent field position. That is the downside of a long field goal attempt. Philip Fulmer was trying to add to his lead. Now, if you're UCLA, you're going to be happy for a 7-7 tie. I would.
Yeah, at this point, because you don't want your quarterback, Kevin Kraft, to make another mistake. And you've got to get him in the locker room and sit him down on the board and get his mind right and realize we cannot give any more passes to the other team.
He's already had 3 picks, and they were not good throws. He'll come out to his tight end, Ryan Moya, who was the backup for Logan Paulson, who was injured earlier.
Rick Neuheisel is a topic, the 2-minute offense. Of course, his quarterback coach when he was here, Homer Smith, one of the great 2-minute guys.
That pass was too short for Dominique Johnson. He had to go down to the turf and couldn't come up with it. 46 seconds on the clock. It will be a 3rd and 2.
Tennessee, no timeouts. UCLA with a pair of them. But they've got to get a first down before they do anything else or even consider what else they want to do.
But a tough opening half for Kevin Kraft. He has had his moments. He looked like he was in pretty good control, but he has thrown 3 picks, all of which he would love to have back. They were not good passes.
2 of them were bad decisions where to throw, and 1 was a bad choice of how to throw.
On the ground, they will have a first down at midfield. He is running again with 38 seconds to go in the half. Pressure coming, the throw intercepted again. The 4th of the half. Nevin McKenzie, 61 yards. And sometimes decisions will come right back to bite you. And I think that's one they would like to have that play call over. Not just a pass.
Well, again, I'm a little surprised that Rick Neuheisel and Norm Chow decided to go for it on this 2-minute drive. I had a feeling they would try to get to the locker room, get him settled down, take a 7-7 tie.
I mean, if your objective is to get to the 4th quarter and have it close, with 38 seconds to go, you don't want to go chucking it up again after your quarterback's already been picked 3 times. And that was an easy pick as well.
Nevin McKenzie is right here, and they're going to try to run the tight end down the seam, and McKenzie's going to tie up with the tight end and then release and just see the ball. He sees the quarterback's eyes, and he steps right in front of the intended target. I mean, Moya never even would have had a chance to catch that, and McKenzie not only gets the turnover, but he puts Tennessee in front with the return for a touchdown.
He is a linebacker, but he is a converted safety, so he knows what to do with the ball in the air, and Rick Neuheisel sees that call blow up in his face.
See, the problem is you have nowhere else you can go right now. I mean, your backup quarterback is a redshirt freshman, Chris Forcier, or a true freshman, Kevin Prince. So you're kind of locked into Kevin Kraft right now, and you've got to do whatever you can to get him comfortable and confident again to start the second half, and that did not help that young man's confidence at all.
Kraft began his night 4 out of 5 for 46 yards. Since then, Todd, 3 out of 13, only 20 yards and 4 interceptions. That's going to be tough to get his confidence back.
Absolutely. Well, and not only his confidence, but the team's confidence, because they played to a standstill against Tennessee up until the last 35 seconds.
Good point.
And now they're behind.
Austin and Therio are deep. Austin will return from the 9. Drilled as he got to the 26-yard line. And with only 17 seconds to go on the clock, you would expect this time UCLA isn't going to do anything to put that ball at risk. Our aerial coverage of tonight's game provided to you by Goodyear. Football is rough. Your commute shouldn't be. So get there on Goodyear Silent Armor technology.
We talked about this Tennessee defense being wanting to get off to a much better start. Last year they gave up 45 points to Cal in the opener. They settled down as the season went along about the midway point. 16 interceptions last year, already a quarter of those in the first half tonight against UCLA.
Scattering of boos here at UCLA and some cheers from the volunteer crowd. Let's go to Holly.
Coach Neuheisel, what can you do right now to help your quarterback, Kevin Kraft, 4 interceptions?
Yeah, it's a tough first half, but you know what? He's a tough kid, and we'll try to calm him down and help him make better decisions. And I just try to remind him, you know, punting is winning. You know, our defense is playing a great game, and they'll rally for him. Our kids are tough, and we're gonna find a way to fix it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Our halftime score is Tennessee 14, UCLA 7. Let's go to Dari Noka and the Olive Garden halftime report.
Welcome to the Olive Garden halftime report.
All right, thank you very much. I am Dari Noka. Welcome into the Olive Garden halftime report. Coming up here at the half, we're going to get you back to Pasadena. We're also going to give you the very latest on Hurricane Gustav and its effect on the college football weekend ahead. Also, Ontario Hardesty busting one. He's got 6 carries, 38 yards, and that touchdown for Tennessee. Vols lead by 7 at the half. We're going back to L.A. in just a moment.
accomplishments, getting a win nearly 3,000 miles away from home that Philip Fulmer on his 58th birthday can identify with, and his Volunteers have a 14-7 lead at the half. There is some good news in the first half for Kevin Kraft. The all-time record for interceptions in a game is 9 by John Reeves of Florida against Auburn in 1969. So the 4 picks in the first half. He's not quite on pace to do that, Mark, but he's had a rough outing.
He definitely has. He's got some nice protection by the offensive line, but the bottom line, you can't turn the ball over, particularly in your own house in your first start here. But if you're Rick Neuheisel, you have to be extremely happy at this point in the ball game. 4 interceptions in the first half, and you're down only 7 points at halftime, Coach. He's in the locker room telling his guys, you're in this game.
You mean to tell me I'm a coach and I ought to be happy because I'm down by 7? I threw 4 interceptions at half. Rule number 1 as a quarterback, do no harm to your team. Protect the football. We talked before about the best chance UCLA had was to keep the game close, not make an awful lot of mistakes, and protect the football. But both offenses do not have any rhythm. Dave Clawson's never really been in an environment like this. You know, he's been at Buffalo, he played at Williams, etc.
Head coach at Richmond.
But this is different. You have to get in a rhythm. You can't be checking off in a loud crowd on playing away from home. And they're not getting on rhythm, Mark. How many times have they come up 3rd down and 2, 3rd and 3? It's always 2nd and 10, 2nd and 12, etc. You can't fall into a rhythm. Offensive rhythm, defense is disrupting the rhythm.
But the bottom line, this offense of Tennessee is not in sync. And I have to question some of the play calling because they're getting plenty of opportunities on first down running the football where it's 4, 5, 6 yards a clip. So it's 2nd down. It's a manageable situation. They're throwing on 2nd down and 5 yards or less. Run the football. I can guarantee you one thing. Philip Fulmer, the head coach of Tennessee, is in there talking to his offensive coordinator right now saying, we can pound the football. We're bigger and more physical up front with our offensive line. Let's take advantage of it right now. The time is right. We have the momentum.
Absolutely. And the one point I want to make, football is not about scoring. It's about getting 10 yards. Get a first down. That's all you do. No matter where you are, get a first down, then do it again. You got 3 downs. All you have to do is find a way to get 10 yards. Then, if you do it often enough, you're going to score.
But, Coach, if you don't score, you can't win.
Yeah, but if you get enough first downs, that's all it is. It's a game of 10 yards, Mark. You would understand that as an offensive lineman. You're not looking at the big play. You're not looking at it. Get a first down. How complicated is that? 3 downs to get 10 yards.
Neuheisel talked about trying to get this game into the 4th quarter to try to stretch out the game a little bit and have a chance to win it, make sure that he controlled the football. They were doing it for a while. The turnovers doing in the Bruins so far. 4 interceptions in the first half, negating their blocked punt that they returned for a touchdown. This one, the most egregious, finding the wide open linebacker, which is bad luck for an offense.
Bad luck.
Devin McKenzie, it's good luck for Tennessee. The Vols are up by 7.
This halftime report is presented by Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
And identify with, and his Volunteers have a 14-7 lead at the half. There is some good news in the first half for Kevin Kraft. The all-time record for interceptions in a game is 9 by John Reeves of Florida against Auburn in 1969. So the 4 picks in the first half. He's not quite on pace to do that, Mark, but he's had a rough outing.
He definitely has. He's got some nice protection by the offensive line, but the bottom line, you can't turn the ball over, particularly in your own house in your first start here. But if you're Rick Neuheisel, you have to be extremely happy at this point in the ball game. 4 interceptions in the first half, and you're down only 7 points at halftime, Coach. He's in the locker room telling his guys, you're in this game.
You mean to tell me I'm a coach and I ought to be happy because I'm down by 7? I threw 4 interceptions at half. Rule number 1 as a quarterback, do no harm to your team. Protect the football. We talked before about the best chance UCLA had was to keep the game close, not make an awful lot of mistakes, and protect the football. But both offenses do not have any rhythm. Dave Clawson's never really been in an environment like this. You know, he's been at Buffalo, he played at Williams, etc.
Head coach at Richmond.
But this is different. You have to get in a rhythm. You can't be checking off in a loud crowd on playing away from home. And they're not getting on rhythm, Mark. How many times have they come up 3rd down and 2, 3rd and 3? It's always 2nd and 10, 2nd and 12, etc. You can't fall into a rhythm. Offensive rhythm, defense is disrupting the rhythm.
But the bottom line, this offense of Tennessee is not in sync. And I have to question some of the play calling because they're getting plenty of opportunities on first down running the football where it's 4, 5, 6 yards a clip. So it's second down. It's a manageable situation. They're throwing on second down and 5 yards or less. Run the football. I can guarantee you one thing. Philip Fulmer, the head coach of Tennessee, is in there talking to his offensive coordinator right now saying, we can pound the football. We're bigger and more physical up front with our offensive line. Let's take advantage of it right now. The time is right. We have the momentum.
Absolutely. And the one point I want to make, football is not about scoring. It's about getting 10 yards. Get a first down. That's all you do. No matter where you are, get a first down, then do it again. You got 3 downs. All you have to do is find a way to get 10 yards. Then, if you do it often enough, you're going to score.
But, Coach, if you don't score, you can't win.
Yeah, but if you get enough first downs, that's all it is. It's a game of 10 yards, Mark. You would understand that as an offensive lineman. You're not looking at the big play. You're not looking at it. Get a first down. How complicated is that? 3 downs to get 10 yards.
Neuheisel talked about trying to get this game into the fourth quarter to try to stretch out the game a little bit and have a chance to win it, make sure that he controlled the football. They were doing it for a while. The turnovers doing in the Bruins so far, 4 interceptions in the first half, negating their blocked punt that they returned for a touchdown. This one, the most egregious, finding the wide open linebacker, which is bad luck for an offense.
Bad luck.
Devin McKenzie is good luck for Tennessee. The Vols are up by 7.
This halftime report is presented by Gillette.
In Pasadena, we're at halftime. Take a look at some of the stats, and it is all Tennessee. 198 total yards to only 85 for UCLA. 79 yards rushing, only 19 for the Bruins. But the big stat at the bottom is the turnovers, 4-1. It's the debut as the head coach of UCLA for one Rick Neuheisel, who was the quarterback these many years ago that won the MVP in the Rose Bowl for this ball club. We talked about the first half. It's important not to make mistakes in a game like this. Keep it close. Rick Neuheisel said he wanted to get it in the fourth quarter. He got the big break on the punt block, but after that, Kevin Kraft, who is a coach's son, made the big mistakes you would not expect him to make.
Well, he had a horrible first half, and anybody that's played quarterback has been there where it just doesn't go your way. But the problem was the decisions of where he threw the football and when he threw them are what really cost him. I mean, he forced the ball into areas where he shouldn't have thrown the football, and he ended up throwing 4 interceptions. Now, granted, this Tennessee secondary is excellent and very talented, but Kevin Kraft made it easy for him in the first half. So now, what do you do in the second half? You get the ball first to start the second half. Kevin Kraft has to just get that out of his mind. Now, he's got 2 of the best coaches that could possibly be working with him in Rick Neuheisel and offensive coordinator Norm Chow. And, Norm's seen everything. I mean, he's been coaching for a long, long time, so he's seen bad first halves. He's got to get Kevin Kraft comfortable again in this second half, because the bottom line is it's their ball, and they are only down by 1 touchdown.
And Norm Chow is one of the best that has ever been in the college game as far as an offensive coordinator. His track record is impeccable. What really surprises me, going back to the end of the first half, is that they decided to throw the ball under a minute to go and, put the ball at risk again.
Right. I was a little surprised by that as well. I thought they'd go in 7-7, come out to start the second half with their football, but as it is, they've got a little bit more of a mountain to climb. And they, quite honestly, Tennessee's offense and Jonathan Crompton didn't do a whole lot more in the first half. Both defenses have controlled the game.
Austin is deep. He'll take it 5 yards in the end zone and take a knee. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, I checked in with Tennessee coach Philip Fulmer. He said he doesn't think Jonathan Crompton has played that bad. He said, we've got to do more to help him out. He said, other than that one forced throw and a few miscues, he has been okay. Rick Neuheisel, though, 4 interceptions for his young quarterback. I asked him off camera at the half, would he consider a change? He said, well, we're going to go talk about that right now, but I would sure hate to shatter a kid's confidence this early.
Boy, it would be tough to make a change in the opening game, considering he's your third guy already.
Right, and Ben Olsen is out for 6 to 7 weeks. I mean, it's not like he's going to come back in a week or two. So behind Kevin Kraft are very young quarterbacks.
Raymond Carter starts the second half at tailback, cuts it back inside, picks up maybe 2 to the 22-yard line. Khalil Bell limped off earlier in the ballgame. Their number 1 tailback. Carter has played, and so has Shane Moline at that spot.
You talk about quarterbacks and young quarterbacks, and I'm more and more convinced that when it comes to playing college football these days, what the quarterback has to do, there are 3 things a quarterback has to do. Number 1, he's got to manage the game. Number 2, and make good decisions. Number 2, he's got to take care of the football. And number 3, he's got to be able to make some plays during the course of the game. But it starts with managing and taking care of the football.
You saw Wes Brown was the guy who limped off the field, the defensive end for Tennessee. And then they tried to get the completed pass to Dominique Johnson, and he just dropped it. Dennis Rogan was right there.
Now, that was a pretty good throw by Kevin Kraft. That was incomplete. But again, if you want to play quarterback in today's college football with the kind of complex defenses you face, you've got to be a good decision maker first and foremost, and you've got to protect the football, especially if you have an excellent defense like UCLA has. So let's see what Kevin Kraft does in the second half in those regards.
3rd and long. Tennessee comes with a straight 4-man rush. Kraft trying to run out of trouble, and he won't make it. The 4 guys were able to collapse the pocket and get the tackle. Alex Wilson, the middle linebacker, who replaces Gerard Mayo, was one of the 4 who came and got a hand on Kraft's ankle and brought him down, forcing a punt.
And that's Kevin Kraft probably saying, okay, if it's not there, I'm not going to force another bad throw. I'll just see if I can get what I can get. And if we punt the football, we punt the football.
And as Rick Neuheisel said earlier, punting is not necessarily a bad thing. Perez to kick. Not a good one, but gets a great bounce. Rogan dropped it and somehow got it back. What a big break for Tennessee. Right into his hands. And Courtney Viney was down there on special teams. With any kind of luck, that ball would have bounced to him. And you have to wonder, what is Rogan thinking to reach out and then let it go?
Well, he kind of hesitated. He was going to let it go. It was a low kick. It was bouncing away from him. And at the last minute, he tried to reach out and grab it. And he got kind of caught in that moment of indecision. And very lucky he was able to recover the football.
That could have been a huge break for UCLA. It would have been another one in the kicking game. Arian Foster on the toss. Got some room to run outside. Hurdles a tackler and takes it out to the 27-yard line. Norris dove for his legs, and Foster said, see you later.
Well, the fullback, Kevin Cooper, got a great block. Excellent block on the safety, and then once he got to the corner, able to make one guy miss himself by going right over the top of him, Arian Foster. But Kevin Cooper doing a nice job as a lead blocker tonight for Tennessee.
Second and 3. Appeared to be changing the play. Now there's a flag down, and the pass is short and incomplete for Lucas Taylor, who was looking to the sideline before that play started like, am I supposed to be over here, and what are we doing? And Foster out of San Diego. As we told you earlier, he is a philosophy major. Will open a philosophy store after he graduates. He's wearing number 30 in honor of his injured teammate David Holbert, who's out with a knee injury.
Yeah, we asked him for his life's philosophy, right? And we had our pens and pencils out and our pads. And what did he tell us his life's mantra was?
Be as nice to people as you would like them to be to you, and smile.
Yeah.
I was expecting something a little more complicated from Kierkegaard, perhaps. But he can run it. Good stiff arm will get him another 5 or 6 yards, and he has abused Michael Norris on a couple of plays.
Arian Foster's a very versatile back. He's a good runner. Obviously has a chance to become Tennessee's all-time leading rusher this year. Excellent receiver, and you see the strength. Of course, he grabbed that face mask too, got away with that. But he definitely got the better of Michael Norris on that exchange.
Foster says he questions everything except the play selection. He said, we are just pawns and rooks and knights. We are not the kings and queens of this game. Pass complete to the backup tight end Brandon Warren, a young man who was a freshman All-American at FSU, grew up only 15 minutes away from the Tennessee campus, decided he was going to go away to Florida State. His mother became very ill, needed a kidney operation, and has had complications from that operation ever since. He wanted to come home, be closer to her. It's taken forever to get him the transfer from FSU and the clearance from the NCAA. Foster on the handoff from Jones. Foster looking for a block on the outside. 30, still on his feet to the 21-yard line. Arian Foster running hard. They really crossed him up that time. Gerald Jones came in as the quarterback. Normally, he takes the direct snap and runs. Right. This time, they handed it off.
Absolutely right. A great job of deceiving the UCLA defense, because Jones right here, you're expecting him to run a sweep this way. They ran the inside zone play this way with Foster, and it really fooled the UCLA defense. They're expecting Jones to keep it. Excellent blocking at the point of attack. Jock McClendon, number 65, with a good block. Ramon Foster with a good block.
They'll mark it at the 22-yard line. Hardesty comes into the game, and for his trouble, he is absolutely crushed.
Because of an NCAA clearinghouse deal, so they never were on the field at the same time last year. Right. That's part of the excitement about what they provide together this year.
Blitz coming. Wanted to go with the screen. And Bosworth and Hardesty yakking at each other. And Harwell will come back in the ballgame. Both of these tackles got very tired at the end of the first quarter, just before the long drive by Tennessee, where they just started pounding at them. And you got to keep those guys fresh, 300-pounders.
And I think this is a huge play right now for the UCLA defense, because if they can hold them here on third down and force a field goal, that would be a big win for them. 2 touchdowns behind against this Tennessee defense with a shaky quarterback, I think might be insurmountable for the Bruins.
3rd and 13. 4-man rush. Crompton with time. Sideline complete. First down to the 6. And a perfect throw to Lucas Taylor, the favorite Tennessee target a year ago, who had 76 catches and 1,000 yards.
Nice job. They kept the guys in. Good protection. You see Crompton step up in the pocket. When the pressure comes from the outside, a quarterback can step up a little bit. He gets good vision down the field, steps into his throw, and delivers a perfect strike to Lucas Taylor.
1st and goal, Tennessee. Crompton has been waiting his turn behind Eric Ainge, who was the starter before he graduated.
Ball's loose.
Fumble.
Wow.
UCLA got it. Raheem Moore will get credit for the recovery. Foster was not hit that hard. He just couldn't hold the ball.
It looks like Reggie Carter, the middle linebacker, may have been the guy that knocks the ball loose. Watch in the middle of the pile as Foster comes in here. Right there, the ball comes loose on the hit by Carter, and Raheem Moore comes up with the loose football.
Got to have a little bit better ball security than that.
What a break for UCLA. Tennessee with a chance, I thought, to really nail this one down if they score another touchdown there.
Even a field goal would have been enormous. UCLA trying to dig itself out of a big hole.
Right now, if I'm John Chavis in Tennessee, I'm going to put 8 guys up in that box every play, and I'm going to make Kevin Kraft prove to me that he can make some throws accurately and the right decision. I would not let them run for an inch, and that you could see that on that particular play. Tennessee crowding the line of scrimmage. They have confidence right now in their secondary covering the tight ends and wide receivers of UCLA, and they're not going to give up anything on the ground.
Well, especially with the guys they have in the secondary. They are just sensational. This one's over the middle, tipped and caught. A big break for UCLA up to the 14-yard line. That was another ball that was up for grabs. Terrence Austin got a gift reception.
Yeah, a couple receivers in the same area. Kevin Kraft tries to force another one in there to Moya, and Austin there for the deflection.
Willingham reached around, great coverage. It's a break for the Bruins. They could have given it right back. Now they face a critical 3rd and short. Blitz coming, pass over the middle. First down. Boy, that was a big one, too. Trevor Theriot.
Logan Paulson is out. He has a fractured right foot. Khalil Bell also done for the game. It's a left ankle injury. We don't have the results of the x-rays yet, guys, but he is out for the rest of the game.
And Holly, of course, Logan Paulson was the heavily counted on starting tight end. And they've had to go with Moya, who is very inexperienced at that spot. Needing 2nd and 3. Now they'll be about 3rd and a short 2. As Walter Fisher, who is the 3rd tackle in the rotation with Bolden and Williams for Tennessee, made that stop.
See, I know you want to be unpredictable on defense and you don't want to show the same look. I just, again, think that because you have the advantage in all the matchups one-on-one, I think your best strategy is to load up the box and go after the quarterback every single time he goes back and take your chances playing one-on-one.
Kraft on the rollout, trying to get away from pressure. There's a flag down. The pass is incomplete. Rogan, the dangerous kick return man, 9.7 his average a year ago. Beautiful punt. Rogan fields it. And back to the 20. Coming up, it is the long-awaited, much-anticipated return of Todd's Taste of the Town. Find out what tasty morsels we found in Tinseltown. In the 3rd quarter at the Rose Bowl, and it's 14-7 Tennessee over homestanding UCLA. Tennessee ranked 18th in the initial poll this week. This is the opener for both ball clubs. And Crompton will lead them off the sideline. See if UCLA's defense can stand up again.
Tennessee really had a good drive the last time they had the football. The fumble by Foster, very unfortunate because they had a chance to go in. They really had the momentum before the turnover.
Montario Hardesty, the tailback. He'll get the carry. Slips outside, picks up about 4. Now it's time for Todd Blackledge. Tonight's Taste of the Town brought to you by Chase.
When I found out my first game was going to be in Los Angeles, I had some concerns that I wouldn't be able to find a restaurant that fit the profile for Taste of the Town. But just a short distance from the UCLA campus, I found a family-owned restaurant that's been in the same location since 1947 that specializes in burgers and homemade pie called the Apple Pan.
2nd and 7. Roll out, quick throw, incomplete. That pass should have been caught. Here in just a second. 3rd down for Tennessee. Crompton trying to keep the drive alive. He wants to go deep. Has a man.
Wow, what a throw and catch.
And they're saying incomplete.
Oh, man.
Looked like a great catch by Austin Rogers. It was covered by Norris.
Yeah, what I thought they would do earlier in the game, instead of going after Werner, go after Norris. And it's a beautiful throw by Crompton, and it looked like he had it, but a good call. There's the ball on the ground. It was a trap. Excellent throw, nonetheless, by Jonathan Crompton.
Crompton, just a perfect pass, and you can see how disappointed he is. And now they'll have to kick it away. Boy, he was out there, and that throw was just so close. Austin is deep. UCLA would love to get a good return. Gets a block, but taken down at the 42. 39-yard kick play. What do you do to generate an offense if you're the Bruins? They start from their own 42. Kraft in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the left. He looks that way, throws over the middle and got Dominique Johnson.
California, they're wrapping it, designing it right now. I'll have it next week when we go to East Carolina, and really, really excited about it. It's an awesome thing.
Back to the ground, UCLA trying to get it into scoring territory, and down at the 30, we haven't seen Khalil Bell since the first half. Kraft chased out of the pocket.
Using his feet
to keep it alive.
That's a good decision.
Yes, it was.
Spots to make a big play, but more than anything, make good decisions and take care of the football.
Got 6 yards on this one. Moline is their downhill runner. Will they go to him a couple of times? They do, and he'll lose a yard. Norm Chow has had just about as much success as he has been a wonder boy. 3rd and long. Kraft, short set, throws outside, complete. First down. Good. You see the numbers. It's had a very good second half. Kraft back to throw again. Blitz coming, and they got him. Well, that time, John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, said, enough is enough, and I'm going to come and get you.
Yeah, Alex Wilson is right here. He's coming into the A gap in between the center and guard, and UCLA not able to pick up this stunt. Unaccounted for, and Kevin Kraft goes down with the sack.
Free run from his blind side. Almost impossible for a quarterback to pick that up. Now it's 2nd and very long. They want to make sure they get at least a field goal out of this. Moline down to the 24. From here it would be a 41-yard attempt. But they have had some scoring opportunities in this game.
Might be very tough to get all of this, but get something positive out of the play. Not a shot. Went for a little screen. Actually, that was pretty well played.
And does. And plenty of leg. This kid can kick. Flag on the play. This Saturday night on ESPN, college football action continues in Florida as the Hurricanes take on Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow.
Them on the field together in Gainesville on Saturday night.
Jones and Moore are deep for Tennessee. Jones has a seam. Still on his feet to the 48-yard line. Let's check in with Dari Noka. Dari, it's almost impossible to see a Virginia Tech game where they lose on a special teams play.
Reverse beamer ball.
Yeah.
And earlier in the game, Virginia Tech had a blocked extra point against East Carolina, returned for 2 points, and that was the difference of the game. 2 points before that play.
Crompton back to throw, instead goes on the draw. Hardesty a little spin across midfield to the UCLA 47-yard line. They have alternated tailbacks, Arian Foster and Montario Hardesty.
You know, obviously, Arian Foster has been their go-to back, over 1,000 yards rushing last year, but just watching the two of them, I mean, my impression is that Hardesty has a little bit more burst. I mean, he's got a little bit more burst up in between the tackles than Arian Foster does. Both very good backs, but Hardesty a little quicker to the punch.
Blitz coming, 2 tight end formation. Crompton hangs in there and throws a poor pass because he had his tight end Brandon Warren with a step on the defender and missed him badly out of bounds. You can see the disgust on his face. Warren is going to be a big-time player for Tennessee. Numbers on Crompton, under 50%, only 143 yards and an interception. You want that percentage up around 60.
Again, you got to keep in mind, he played a lot more in 2006 than he did in 2007. Only 12 passes all of last year, 29 already tonight.
3rd and 4, UCLA has not been shy about blitzing. This time they come with only 4. Crompton with time and throws it very, very high. And then
7 of them 3 and out. That's great defense by the UCLA Bruins.
And that has kept them in the ball game. Cunningham to kick to Austin. Austin's going to let it go,
kick.
and it takes a tremendous bounce for Tennessee out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. This Thursday night on ESPN, our college football anchor.
Courier's got a pretty salty defense down in Columbia.
The offense was a little shaky, I thought, in the first game. They'll spot the ball shy of the 8. UCLA will start from there, and Tennessee really loaded up on that one, decided to come headhunting. Dan Williams with a tackle in the backfield. And that is the end of the third quarter. The Bruins of UCLA in their first game under Rick Neuheisel, down by 4 with a quarter to go. ESPN HD. Here is a play calling with an ineffective offense backed up to its own 3-yard line. Draw play hit in the end zone. Normally the officials will give you forward progress and then maybe a little bit on top of that. They don't seem to want to call those safeties. DeMonte Bolden just crashed through and made the stop.
Well, back-to-back plays, the tackles for Tennessee dominated. Boy, I'm not so sure his knee wasn't down also before the ball got across the plane. DeMonte Bolden on this play, and on first down it was Dan Williams.
They can review that.
Yeah, that might have been a safety right there. Before the ball crossed the plane was his knee down. What a great play on the penetration by DeMonte Bolden, going right by Sonny Tavaga. Back-to-back plays.
So close. Remember, the initial call was that he got it out of the end zone, which is in favor of UCLA.
Yeah.
There has to be convincing visual evidence that it was not out of the end zone, and I don't know that they can say that because it was so close.
And quite honestly, you know, you don't want to ever give up points as we take another look at this. I'm not so sure that a safety here might not be better for UCLA than having to punt out of your own end zone and giving Tennessee the football inside the 40-yard line.
The back end of the line is what the point of the ball would have to cross to get out of the end zone. It's the reverse of going in. The front end of the ball hits the front end of the line. It's a touchdown.
Progress was stopped in the field of play. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. Third down.
On back-to-back plays, we talked about this Tennessee defense. The area they thought would be better this year was inside. The rotation of tackles between Dan Williams, DeMonte Bolden, and Walter Fisher. First and second down, they dominated UCLA.
Carter, the tailback, 7 yards deep in the end zone. And Tennessee jumps offside.
A little over-anxious.
A little breathing room for UCLA. Third still very long. Toss to Carter, hesitated in the end zone and barely got back to the 3-yard line. A dominant stand by the Tennessee defense.
Excellent defense. They knew they had him pinned down in there deep. They knew that Norm Chow would be pretty conservative in his play calling. And John Chavis just turned his guys loose. And the defensive line is what controlled the action right there.
Wes Brown from his defensive end with a big play on the last one. And now Aaron Perez will have to get it out of there. Gerald Jones in UCLA territory waiting for the ball. Nice kick. Drives them all the way back to the 41-yard line. Midfield, 35 on his feet. Needed one more block down to the 25-yard line. A saving tackle by Courtney Viney.
Nice decision by Tennessee. They doubled one gunner and had another guy man up on the other gunner. So that's why there was no coverage quickly down the field for UCLA. And Gerald Jones very easily makes the first guy miss coming down there. That was John Hale, a linebacker. But the doubling of the outside gunners really gave Gerald Jones a lot of room to work.
Good block on Bosworth as well. A line drive 55-yard kick, a 33-yard return by Jones, and spot the ball at the UCLA 26. Crompton goes out as a wideout, and Jones,
quarterback,
will take the direct snap and run a sweep. Tries to cut it back and got maybe a yard. Time to check in with Dari Noka, a SportsCenter Right Now update.
Mike, thank you. Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. SportsCenter at 11 Eastern on ESPN News. Guys?
Crompton under pressure, throws incomplete. Bosworth was coming from the outside and got right in his face.
You know, when you're in training camp, you try to give your quarterback as many looks as you can, but you usually put a different color jersey on him and you don't let people hit him live. Maybe in a scrimmage early in summer you do, but typically not with your starting quarterback. And when Jonathan Crompton has not been accurate tonight, it's been because there's bodies flying at him. And that's just something that you just have to get used to playing in live competition. He'll be much better next week because of that.
He faces a 3rd and 9 right here. UCLA 4-man rush. Crompton under pressure again, and down he goes at the 33.
The two.
A 51-yard field goal attempt by Daniel Lincoln. He is missed from 51 and 55.
I don't think they got the play off. I'm not sure they got it off before the play clock. A delay. Cunningham did a great job his last punt, knocking it out inside the 10.
He had punted only 3 times in his career before tonight. Hangs up another good one that hits at the 1. Almost stayed in the field of play. It bounced in there twice, and the Tennessee special teamers couldn't find it. So it's a 38-yard punt. UCLA doing. Back at the Rose Bowl, one of the reasons Rick Neuheisel is the new head coach at UCLA is because their crosstown rival USC has dominated them since 2001. Pete Carroll holds since 2001. Very little success for UCLA. They think Rick Neuheisel, the prodigal son, is the answer. Pass complete.
That's right. And it's going to take a little while to overturn that monopoly.
UCLA just trying to keep the sticks moving a couple of times. They go on the toss to Carter, and he stopped just shy of the 30.
You know, just to finish up on that point, I mean, again, that goes back to my point of why I think Rick Neuheisel is the right guy at the right time. Be charming and charismatic and a great recruiter, and Neuheisel can match that.
Should be enough for a first down. Carter lowering the shoulder and driving, and that's exactly what the Bruins need. Moved
after he left, and I hope and think that he's grown up a lot from that.
Very dangerous pass back across the green, caught by Embridge. Taylor Embry making the catch. Heads up play by Austin. First down from UCLA, own 41-yard line. Kraft, short set, short throw, another completion. And this is what Kraft was doing at the beginning of the game.
Throws. One receiver is running the coverage off. Watch Terrence Austin. He's going to run the coverage off and occupy both guys. And then the underneath throw comes to Embry. But, I mean, it's the inside receiver who's running off the coverage and opening it up outside.
UCLA on the move, down to the 45-yard line. Kraft. And this one's incomplete, and that's going to be interference or holding, one or the other, on D'Angelo Willingham.
Minus 17 yards. Now they've got some momentum. They got something going. But even if they don't score in this drive, they've achieved one thing. That's flip the field. Help their defense. If Tennessee gets the ball back, they have to play for their own territory against UCLA's defense.
Absolutely. Tennessee, as you see, penalized 9 times for 55 yards tonight. UCLA starting to scare some of the Tennessee faithful who have made this trip.
In the second half, 10 of 13, 93 yards, and he's taking care of the football.
He's not forcing stuff downfield. He is taking the short things that are available to him. And now UCLA is going to use a timeout. Remember, with those new clock rules, timeouts are more important than ever.
Jack Link's beef jerky.
UCLA trailing, but on the move. Todd, they've got a 2nd and 4 right here.
You know, they've thrown a lot of slants. They got them set up for maybe a slant and go if they want to take a shot at one.
Here's the draw, and that's going to lose about 4 yards. And the tackle from behind, Adam Myers-White, the strong side linebacker, came and got the tackle in the backfield.
Well, he was out like he was in pass coverage. He's out here, and Kevin Kraft didn't account for him, and he just times it and chases the play down from behind. He sees it all the way, and the tailback Carter really has no chance. It wasn't really a zone read where you read that guy. It was a designed give, but Myers-White timed it perfectly.
So now Kraft goes to the shotgun on 3rd and long. Blitz comes. Kraft throws over the middle.
Big throw and catch. Giving him enough time to make a play.
And Kraft comes up limping. He's 5 out of 5 for 51 yards on this drive. Kraft again, pressure from behind. Got rid of it down to the 3. To see the completion. It's a 1st and goal. Carter, the tailback on the toss. Room to run. Touchdown. Trevor Theriot, the fullback, one of the guys who was leading him around the corner, and gave Carter just enough room to get in. What a comeback by UCLA.
And Nick Ekbatani, the right tackle, also with a big-time block on the edge. What a drive by the Bruins. 175, Ekbatani, and the fullback, Theriot, both out there in front. The ball gets across the pylon, and a touchdown for the Bruins.
All at once, Kraft has thrown the ball on rhythm, thrown it with zip, and his receivers have been making big-time catches.
You know what, and being a former coach's kid and a former quarterback, I got to say.
The ruling on the field stands.
How about that? Well, you could have asked a neutral observer in this stadium when this drive started. Do you think they're going to go down like they've just been shredding them the whole game?
The critical play in that drive.
Forbath. The point after, and UCLA on top by a field goal. Norm Chow calling. UCLA playing at home here at the Rose Bowl has taken a 3-point lead over favored Tennessee with 6 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the game. Jimmy Rothstein to kick it away. Jones, who had a big return the last time, and Denarius Moore are deep. Jones backpedals. A yard deep in the end zone, he'll bring it out. 20. Trying to cut back. Needed to beat one man and can't. Taken down at the 32-yard line, and that good tackle by Michael Morris. Let's go back to that last drive and admire 71. Now the pressure falls on Tennessee. Crompton has Hardesty behind him. Crompton stands in the pocket and throws incomplete. Looked like he had Warren open, and looked like Warren didn't make a very good adjustment to the ball. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, I talked with Kevin Kraft's father, Tom.
Well, Holly, he helped set up the pressure in the first half with those 4 picks. But you're right, he sure has come from behind. Blitz coming. Crompton has it batted down at the line of scrimmage, nearly picked.
The inside pressure of UCLA tonight. When he's been able to set his feet, he's thrown the ball on rhythm and on target. But too often tonight, The inside pressure by these defensive tackles have collapsed the pocket on Jonathan Crompton. And unlike UCLA, who's moved Kevin Kraft out of the pocket, Dave Clawson has not moved Jonathan Crompton outside of the pocket very often, and the tackles have made it a problem.
That's the strength of that defense in the middle.
Here it is
Pressure
again.
coming again. Crompton down he
Face
goes.
mask.
That's going to be a face mask.
Yep. A great rush, a huge sack, but it's going to go for naught because of the face mask.
Tom Blake got his
Face mask,
hand in there.
Number 56 in the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
What a huge break for Tennessee.
And
They give up
remember-
the sack on 3rd and long, and the penalty will keep the drive going.
And one of the rule changes this year in college football, there is no 5-yard incidental face mask, although that one was clearly one where he pulled him down by the face mask. There it is. A huge break for the Volunteers.
Yeah, there wasn't anything incidental about that one.
A huge, huge break. Instead of 4th and long and a punt situation, Tennessee gets a first down out near the 50-yard line.
Blake is a good pass rusher, had 3 sacks last year, really came through here, but just got a hand on the face mask. It puts Tennessee all the way out to the 48-yard line. They show blitz and come. Draw play. Well, they sold out that time, and Foster had no chance. Harwell gets it and 11. Clock running, approaching 5.5 minutes. Another blitz coming. Crompton hit as he throws. Almost caught on the ground by Warren, the big tight end, and Crompton gets up slowly.
Now remember, this offensive line for Tennessee returned all their starters. They only gave up 4 sacks last year, best in the country by far. And Jonathan Crompton has been under duress a good part of the evening tonight.
Reggie Carter was coming hard straight up the gut again. They've missed their last 8 passes.
Again, I think one of the problems for Tennessee is that the launching point for Jonathan Crompton has been the same every single play. They've not moved him outside of the tackle box at all, and UCLA has zeroed in on where this quarterback is going to be.
And Tennessee is going to have to use a timeout. Well, the coach has told us from UCLA, we've got a pretty good defense. We think they can keep us in the ball game, and boy, they proved it tonight. These guys can play. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Jack Links, part of ESPN Kickoff Week, presented by Gillette. 17-14. UCLA has come from behind to take the lead, and right now could be the play of the game. 3rd and long for Tennessee. They have the ball at their own 47-yard line. Crompton will go to the shotgun. They have to reach the UCLA 42 for a first down. Four-man rush. Crompton will take off.
Just a
and he's
hair
going to be
short.
stopped maybe a yard shy. That's it. Reggie Carter, the middle linebacker, caught up to him.
Just a hair short. Now again, Tennessee is down 3. They are not down a touchdown with 5 minutes and the clock running here.
Got to be tempting to go, though, isn't it, with that big
you almost
offensive
have to.
line?
Yeah, you know, your offensive line is supposed to be the strength of your offensive team. Now's when you need them, right here, 4th and 1 to keep this drive alive. If you can't get 4th and 1 with this offensive line, then you don't deserve to win the football game.
Foster is the tailback. Quarterback keeper. Second effort.
Yep. They barely got that play off under the play clock as well. They were really under duress there.
Big first down. Tennessee keeps the drive alive. 4:36 to go.
Now is also when some of the new rule changes with the clock and the timing come into effect. It used to be if you ran a play out of bounds, the clock stopped and it didn't start again until the ball was snapped. But now that doesn't happen until you get inside in the last 2 minutes of the game. So you've got to really conserve your time the best you can.
Crompton throws out in the flat. It's the fullback down to the 34-yard line. Kevin Cooper has already shown he can catch the ball. So basically, your 2-minute drill is starting about now.
Yeah.
You can't expect to give up the ball and get it back.
Tennessee has 2 timeouts, and with the 40-second play clock, once you run out of timeouts, I mean, bleeding the clock is different now, because now you know exactly what you get. As soon as that ball is dead, it's 40 seconds at a very minimum that you can run off.
Foster, the tailback, play action to him. Again, Cooper out in the flat to the 31-yard line. Good defense by Aaron Ware, the safety.
A little bit of the same kind of attack right now for Tennessee. Quick throws, a little play action, get the ball out of Jonathan Crompton's hands. When he's held onto the ball and tried to throw a little bit deeper down the field, UCLA's been able to get some pressure. There's Dave Clawson again, 9 years, the last 9 years, head coach for the last 4 years at Richmond, 5 years before that at Fordham. Played football and basketball at Williams College, but this is a little different deal, wearing a little different hat as the offensive coordinator at Tennessee.
One of his star pupils, Brian Westbrook, who was one of the best multiple offensive weapons in the history of college football when he had him at Villanova.
One of the things I found interesting, he told me a story. I was over there in Knoxville on Thursday, that back in 1997, and he was an offensive coordinator at Villanova, he wanted to go visit somewhere where they did a great job with the passing game, and he wanted to go somewhere where they seemed to do more with less. And BYU was the school that really stood out to him at that point. And Norm Chow was then the offensive coordinator at BYU, and he went and spent 3 days with the BYU offensive staff, and credits a lot of what he does in the passing game and a lot of his ideas and concepts from those 3 days that he spent with Norm Chow and Roger French, the offensive line coach at BYU, and Lavelle Edwards, of course, the great head coach there.
A lot of people have learned a thing or two from Norm Chow, haven't they? And from Lavelle. 1st and 10, Tennessee. 3:20 to go. Foster, room to run to the outside. And taken out of bounds. They'll mark it at the 27. Good tackle by Glenn Love, the backup safety.
See, here's an example now. That play was run out of bounds and the clock stopped, but as soon as they blow it ready for play, the play clock starts again. And that's a new rule in college football this year. Now, once you get inside of 2 minutes, it will stop and not start again until the next snap if you go out of bounds. But that's something you just have to be aware of, especially if you're playing from behind like the Volunteers are right now.
There's a short pass complete. It's going to be about a yard shy of a first down to Gerald Jones. And you can see the play clock. Right now you're looking at the game clock at 2:43. The play clock will come up right next to it and the line at the top of your screen. So it will start and you can see how quickly it works down from 40 seconds. 3rd and a yard. They obviously have a shot at this. If they don't make it, they could choose to try a field goal to tie. Or go for it again. On the ground, Hardesty dives inside the 20.
That was really a smart run by Hardesty. As soon as he saw a crease, he started to bounce out, and as soon as he saw a crease, he turned his shoulders north and south and dove forward with some burst to get the first down.
Another player down for UCLA, and players are starting to get cramps, as that's big Brian Price. And they're going to get him to the sideline.
Yeah, they are. They're certainly in field goal range for Daniel Lincoln. He has not had a great night, but he's tried all long field goals to this point as well.
Sports Center coming up when we're done here. The question is, when will we be done? Approaching the 2-minute mark. Tennessee, another first down. Hardesty got a blocker in front, cuts it back, 10, 5, touchdown, Tennessee. A 20-yard run, and they are heartsick at the Rose Bowl, but thrilled if they're wearing orange. That was a big-time drive by Tennessee against a terrific defense.
Well, two great blocks. Luke Stalker, the tight end, number 88, got a great block, as did the fullback, Kevin Cooper, to secure the corner for Hardesty. Wow. Great drive by the Volunteers.
Well, you know you're good when you've got to have that drive and you come through with it. UCLA did it on the previous possession. When they had to have it, the offense stepped up and got it. Now they've got to step up again.
Watch the tight end and fullback. Those two guys in the circle. Both are going to get excellent blocks. Stalker's going to get a cut block on the linebacker. Then here comes Cooper to seal the other guy. And Hardesty, as soon as he saw that little seam, turned it up and headed for the end zone.
And the wide receiver, Gerald Jones, on the outside, did his job as well.
They got it on 4th and 1. Their offensive line made some plays in that drive. They'd had some problems protecting Jonathan Crompton, but when they needed it, they opened some creases for Montario Hardesty.
All right, here's the deal for Tennessee. 2 timeouts left. A field goal now does them no good. Or, excuse me, UCLA. They're down by 4. They've got to go for the touchdown. What a ball game.
No, great ball game.
Pretty decent way to start the season. Austin and Therio are deep. Short kick. Therio takes it. Advances near the 30.
Well, the question is, does Kevin Kraft have any more tricks up his sleeve? I mean, he had a great drive, the last drive, to give them the lead. Rick Neuheisel said they've practiced the 2-minute offense like crazy. That's kind of his baby. When he goes and speaks at coaches' clinics, that's his topic, the 2-minute offense. His former coach, Homer Smith, is kind of the guru of clock offense and clock management. Well, it's going to get put to the test right now. They've got 2 timeouts and 1:50 left, and they need a touchdown to win.
Kraft was a starter at San Diego State under his father. Then he was a starter at Mount San Antonio College. Now he is a starter here.
Run a lot of slants. That time Embry from his slot position ran right up the seam and got the quick throw.
Kraft again, same kind of look over the middle, complete down to the 40. Moya, the tight end, again. Life. The officials blow the whistle.
If you're a quarterback, you love the clock offense. You're in 4-down territory because a field goal doesn't help you. So you got to go for it, and you got to get the ball in the end zone. But you got to be smart and make good decisions with the football. And you really, really not only obviously want to avoid an interception, but you really want to avoid a sack because you want to stay ahead of the chains as much as you can.
Kraft will go to the shotgun. Short set and forced that one into coverage, and Johnson could not make the catch. That will stop the clock at 1:10. Good coverage by Marsalis Johnson. Now, do you throw on 3rd down and an inch, or do you wait for
I think they're going to run
an
this one. I think they're going to run this one, or try to run it.
Quarterback keeper, that is a first down. Good to run. Three-man rush. Kraft has room to run if he wants. Instead, throws over the middle, complete to the 28-yard line.
They got to use it to
Moya again.
If Moya would have stayed on his feet and gotten a first down, Rick Neuheisel wouldn't have had to use that timeout. But because Moya went to the ground after the catch, they were short of a first down, and Neuheisel had to use one of his 2 timeouts.
49 seconds and 1 left.
Kraft did a nice job of getting out of the pocket, buying some time, and Moya, for some reason, went down to his knees instead of trying to get a little more yardage. But when he went down, he was short of the first down, and so the clock kept running.
Are you sure Kraft was the quarterback in the first half? Because it doesn't look like the same guy. Coming up next on ESPN, stay tuned for SportsCenter. Some of the stories they'll be covering, the best. What a tremendous way to open the season at the Rose Bowl. And what a contrast in halves for the junior from Valley Center, California, Kevin Kraft. Norm Chow said before the game, he has to stay calm. Right now, he is as calm can be, because in the second half, he's 15 out of 19 passing. Good protection, throws, sideline, complete, out of bounds at the 12.
Now that's the same throw that he got earlier in the game because Kevin Kraft put too much air under it. That time, he stuck it right in between the two defenders.
6'3", Dominique Johnson open at the sideline, and Kraft has been sensational in the second half. Tennessee uses its timeout to stop the clock with 44 seconds to go. I don't ever remember
This one was run back for a touchdown, but in the second half, he has been nothing short of brilliant. Stays in the pocket, accurate, good decisions, and he's got
44 seconds to go. They are on their feet at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Both teams with one timeout remaining.
They can get a first down inside the 1. Kraft under pressure. Middle screen.
You know what? They had a lineman downfield, and that ball was not thrown behind the line of scrimmage. That should have been a penalty on UCLA, but I don't see a flag. If you throw a screen, you can get linemen downfield as long as the ball's behind the line of scrimmage, but I don't think that was the case.
No, that was thrown downfield, and it was a middle screen to the tight end, Moya. You're absolutely right. They had everybody downfield. And you wonder how the officials would have missed that one.
They're going to throw the tight end screen, but instead of being behind the line of scrimmage, he's going to catch it right there, and there are linemen running down to get in position to block before the catch is made. It was very close, but that blue line was the line of scrimmage. And UCLA got away with one there, I think.
Couldn't tell who the big guy was leading the parade, but it might have been the center, Micah Reed. He was down at about the 3-yard line.
Well, you can get that far down as long as the ball is behind the line of scrimmage. Sure. But that one was right on the edge, yeah. And now, though, UCLA with no timeouts, 35 seconds. So you really, it's a little tough to take a shot running the football here, 2nd and 2. If you do run, you've got to be prepared to get up and spike the football right away. But 35 seconds, you may not be able to do that.
No, and if you run, they're going to be holding that guy down just as long as they can. Remember, it's 2nd down. They can still get a first down inside the 1, but they're going to have to throw it, in my mind.
I think maybe you put Kevin Kraft on the move, too. Yeah. Get him out on the perimeter, maybe rolling to the right, and give him a run-pass option.
Moline is the back. Kraft wants to throw, looks to the end zone. He had him and threw it too high.
And I watched him work on this play in Friday's practice in the red zone. It's thrown to the back of the end zone high, so only your guy can get it or nobody. This one a little bit high and a little bit hard for Moya, and he's not able to make the catch. That's the right spot, just a little bit too much heat on that ball.
And Moya has had 6 catches for 62 yards in relief of the injured starter Logan Paulson. He's had a tremendous game. 2 more shots for UCLA, barring a first down. Empty backfield. Touchdown, Moya! Holy cow! The first one they throw to the back of the end zone, it's too high. This time Moya hooks up and Kraft drilled him.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
Well, this is typical for our games, though, right, partner?
Isn't it, Tom? We don't get bad games.
My, oh, my.
You've got to be kidding. Kai Forbath with the extra point. This was supposed to be, according to the storybooks, a dream night for Rick Neuheisel. Last year it was Cal. Right now it's UCLA. They have gotten big kickoff returns from Gerald Jones. If you're UCLA, you try to squib it now with 27 seconds.
I think you have to squib it. Maybe even let one of those up guys catch it.
Tennessee only has one timeout left, and there's only 27 seconds on the clock.
Pooch kick.
Yeah.
Force somebody else to catch it.
Taken by one of the up men across the 30, 35, 40, and out of bounds goes Brandon Warren, the tight end, but we're down to 23 seconds. Now Tennessee can tie it with a field goal.
Yep. They've got one timeout and 23 seconds.
They need 25 yards to make it a 50-yard field goal try. Are you kidding? What a game. You asked if UCLA had a trick up its sleeve. How about Crompton in Tennessee? From the 43. Crompton under pressure, incomplete. That would have been at the UCLA 41-yard line. Verner with the coverage. Gerald Jones couldn't come up with the catch. That cost him 5 seconds.
Tell you what, I've been really impressed by the UCLA defensive front. I mean, Dwayne Walker told us he thinks this has got a chance to be the best front four that they've had since this defensive staff has been here.
Think how close they were. If that ball is caught, they need one more completion to have a shot at the field goal. Now you've got to hit 2 passes, use that last timeout to have a chance. And Lincoln, who has had nothing but ultra-long field goal tries tonight, would like something under 50.
There's a good shot.
To the 40.
Clock stops till they move the chains. They've got one timeout. They're calling for the spike play. Jonathan Crompton's going to spike the ball to stop the clock right there with 12 seconds left.
Good job. That only cost them a second. They got to the line of scrimmage and were ready to do it. They still have the timeout in their pocket, so they can complete a pass, call the timeout, and have all the time they want to set up for the field goal. They don't have to rush.
And the good point of the timeout is that means that opens up the whole field. They don't have to think about only throwing to the sideline to stop the clock. They can throw in the middle of the field. Everything's open. Now for Daniel Lincoln, he has missed from 51 and 55 tonight already. His career long is 48.
And missed another 51-yarder that didn't count because he was wiped out by a penalty. But it would have missed. Ten more yards. They've got a shot at the field goal. There's the 10. Clock running. 5 seconds. Stopped. They will use the timeout. They will have a shot at a tying field goal from 47 yards. That's a great job by Crompton.
Sure was.
He has given his field goal kicker a chance.
We talked about Kevin Kraft, his poise under pressure in the 2-minute offense. Equally impressive. Jonathan Crompton running the 2-minute offense in this drive. The first pass, he made a nice throw, but it was incomplete. He didn't get down. He made a couple good shots in there to get his team in position to send this game into overtime.
Lincoln last year, 7 out of 10 between 40 and 49. Tonight, he has missed 3 over 50, only 2 of which will count officially. This is from 47. It is into a very slight breeze. The flags on top of the goalposts are barely moving at the end he is kicking to. But occasionally they'll puff up. And earlier in the night they were blowing very gently. Flags on top of the stadium are blowing in the same direction and more strongly than they are at field level.
Remember, one of the key plays in this game so far was a special teams play. The blocked punt returned for a touchdown by UCLA. Frank Gantz Jr., the special teams coach. Will they go after this field goal?
From 47 yards out to tie. Lincoln got all of that one. We'll go to overtime.
How about this?
Is this fun or what?
Absolutely. Good to be back, partner.
if you're a coach, how do you stand this kind of stuff? I mean, you have to get ulcers by the dozen, and Lincoln delivers. What a clutch kick. Boy, and his adrenaline was going. That baby was good. That would have been good from 57.
Jonathan Crompton, clutch performance in the last half minute of the ball game. They saved their timeout. They just ran that beautifully. And Lincoln able to knock it through to tie the score.
You know, this is a cliche because there is an element of truth behind it. But you hate to think of either team losing this ball game. They have played so well, particularly in the second half, and they have both done such a brilliant job in overtime.
Both of them, their only loss in overtime in the 2000 season.
Well, Rick Neuheisel said he wanted to be able to absorb some of the grandeur and the emotion of coming back for the first time. Well, he certainly got a lot to absorb tonight. In overtime, we'll have the coin toss, and it's like the